You should not have 442. You should not have let me touch them. 10.
Hello and welcome to for our first Dice Goblin stream. This is going to be our session 0 for our brand new campaign of our world in Endrielle. This campaign will be known as Fables of Merrell. Yep. So we are not. A few of us have played together before. We have a few new people with us today. This is the first time we are streaming. So this is what's going to be known as a mega campaign. This could take quite some time, but we got quite a ride ahead of us. So with that in mind, welcome to our stream. As far as story goes, we're thinking this first session we're going to mainly be focusing on the session 0, the mechanics, getting to know each other. Mostly it's going to be about lightly dipping into our characters without revealing too much to each other, hopefully. And if we have time, this is not a priority. If we have time, we will go ahead and start a little bit of our story tonight. If we have time, however, that will be low priority. Tonight is just about session 0, finding out what to expect, and all this fun stuff I prepared in my notebook. My wife made this for me. Let's go ahead and, speaking of my wife, let's go ahead and start with my introductions, and we will start over here with my wife. Go ahead. Just your name, anything you want to say about your character or not, and that's it. A little bit about yourself.
My name is Alex. I am playing a half-elf named Juniper. That's what I'm going to say about her for now.
How long have you been playing now?
Oh, yes, I have been playing.
I didn't ask that, but just a little bit of something else,
I've been playing for 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. You next?
My name's Taylor. I've been playing D&D for about close to probably 3 years, maybe 4.5.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I've been playing mainly online with a lot of people in England, actually, and the time frame doesn't work out too well. In this campaign, I'm going to be playing the Halfling Rogue Bim Bronstock, and I'm not going to give too much away about him, but he's wide-eyed and ready for adventure. Probably going to be in over his head a little bit.
I have to agree there. All right.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a newbie player. Never actually completed a campaign, or even I want to say gotten halfway through. So I'm still very new. So I'm sorry. Please be patient with me. I'm playing a tiny pink cobalt character called Tiny because she's tiny. And that's all I'm gonna say about her.
Okay, great.
Hi, I'm Summer. I've been playing for 2.5 years, I think.
About the same time.
Probably about the same.
It's just...
I've been playing about 2.5 years. I am playing a human cleric named Haven. I'm very excited to see what shenanigans she will get into.
Hi, I'm Austin. I'm playing a half-orc named Felix, and I've been playing D&D for about a year. And it's a bard, so.
Okay, all right. So that's what we got as far as our players and our light little bit about our characters for obvious reasons. We all have characters, and the way we play our games, I'll go ahead and say this early on, the way we always have set up our games is all characters have secrets, may or may not have secrets, and it is completely up to you or your character whether you divulge those secrets. I, of course, know them all, but whenever we're in the middle of gameplay, it is up to you how much or how little you divulge to anybody in the world. Keep in mind, especially the way I run things, my NPCs are they do interact and they do react to what kind of person your character is. So there's that to think about. So whenever I'm just saying about knowledge about your character, keep it as close to the vest as you want is my bottom line. So we'll get a little bit more into mechanics a little bit later. We should probably start with introducing our world, though, to especially new players and people. I pointed up at the cameras down here. The two people who don't know anything about our world. We have just made a world by the name of Endrielle. What can I say about Endrielle that would be known is what most people know about Endrielle. If you're close enough to the this part of the world, which your characters would be in Merrell. Merrell is located near kind of the equator of Endrielle, which is the planet. Planet is split in half and broken on. If you were to look at it from a side, you would see half of a planet split down the middle, and on the other half, 2 broken pieces of the planet. Endrielle has 3 moons, 2 lightly colored, kind of off-white milk, similar to our moon, except a little. There's really never any like harvest moons or anything. It's more or less always more of a milky white color, but there is one moon in between these 2 moons at all times, known as the coral moon. This is the most irregular moon as it moves in and out, close to the planet of Endrielle, far away. Most scholars in the world of Endrielle believe that this moon is what is responsible for the changing of the tides, the erratic weather, and all that. So that is something you do know about. Your character would guess or kind of know. It's general knowledge about Endrielle. Another thing that's special about this world, everywhere you go, our session takes place in the continent of Merrell. Merrell, like everywhere in the world, is covered, everywhere in Endrielle, is covered in what looks like these blue, we call it veins in our world. Everybody in the world knows it as these veins. They're these teal-colored, what looks to be like veins, and it's not. It doesn't even look necessarily like veins. If you were to look at it on the ground, what everybody sees is, if you were to look at the ground and you would see just below the surface, ever so slightly, the thinnest layer of the surface at all times, there is the thinnest layer. There's this faint teal glow coming off of the ground at all times. Not enough to really produce so much light, but all over the world, the entire world is covered in these teal vein-like things that run along the ground. There is, in relevance to these things, there are also what's known as vein kind. Now, just a little bit more about vein. Nobody really knows what vein is. It's been here for as long as anybody can remember. People don't know. The top scientists of our world, which isn't that far ahead, but we'll get to that later. The top scholars of our world still haven't quite figured out what the hell these veins in Endrielle actually are. They are studied. There's a lot of theories. They have something to do, however, with the magic, people believe. The reason people say this is when anyone who dies in Endrielle on the ground, especially, if vein is touching it and you die there, your body loses itself and turns into a tree within a few days. It is very common practice in all of Endrielle to burn your dead for this reason. Now, that's not to say there are no dead bodies, there's no skeletons lying around from ancient times, if you were buried in something like a tomb or something that wouldn't make contact with Endrielle. Do I got everybody so far? Am I moving too fast? I know it's a lot. I know these 3 know that. It is mostly for viewers and the new people. So any questions so far?
She's over here taking notes.
Yeah, great.
We forgot our notepads in the car.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
In a second, but meanwhile, I figured I could write it.
That's great. So far, any questions though before I got too far? Okay.
Yeah, how plentiful are the veins? Are they all over the place, or are they kind of everyone knows oh, hey, this is going to be where the vein is? Excellent question.
Veins seem to be. This is something people kind of sort of know, but not really. It's not even proven, but it's theorized enough that veins seem to be around where there is the most magical activity. Places that are void of magic, you will still see vein. Let's just say there is an island where there are no magic users, there's no magical items, there's no magic happening there, there's not even a dragon. You're still going to see some vein there. But people have noted where there's more magical activity, you see more vein activity. As far as how spread out they are everywhere, and it's almost like the people in this world have learned almost to ignore them. Not like you see them, but if you see it every day and it doesn't make an effect on your life, your day-to-day life, they don't do anything.
Yeah, at this point it's mundane.
It's mundane, yeah. It's like, I don't know what to compare it to. Like
It's
you
Doctor
just
Who's police box.
you just see it. People,
you
everyone
ignore it.
sees it. They know it's there, but it doesn't affect them. Even in the dark, it doesn't even provide really any light. You know,
At this
so
point, people aren't even talking about it.
yeah, people don't talk about it. It's so old. Like there are scholars who still are trying to study it, but it's nobody knows what the hell these veins are. Nobody. There's again, like I said, there's a lot of theories and there's a lot of people who are guessing, but that's all they have so far. And again, and these trees, by the way, that I mentioned, the reason people are connecting them to the trees, the vein kind to these tree deaths, are the trees show signs of like veins in the roots. It's as if the vein helps these people grow into a full-grown tree within a couple of days.
Do they have a certain coloration?
Yes, I'm sorry. I always don't be afraid to ask questions. I do speak very fast sometimes. They are teal.
You did say that. My bad.
However, your character may or may not know this, but I will go ahead and tell you as players. If do you two know what the Underdark is by any chance?
I'm familiar with it, but
Okay, I'll say it for you and our viewers. The Underdark is everywhere in Endrielle as well. It is basically underneath the surface. There is a whole nother world full of caverns and swamps and otherworldly beings known as the Underdark. It is a large cave network that it's like our own ocean here on Earth. No one has fully explored it, and it's always changing with all the purple worms. Purple worms are large, very humongous worms down there that are constantly changing the environment. There's constant wars down there. And the reason your characters might not know so much about this is because not many people go to the Underdark because of the amount of drow activity. And if you go down there and you're not prepared, you're asking to be, captured and enslaved or something like that. But I got off on a little tangent there. The reason I brought this up is you asked about color for the veins. On the surface, they are teal. But as you get further down into the Underdark, they turn red. And theories about this are the same people who were saying, you see more veins in highly magical areas are the same people who believe that as you get further down below Endrielle's surface, the more corrupt the whatever it might be or the magic might be down in the Underdark. Idea a lot of people subscribe to is the amount of what's known as phaseras down in the Underdark. Wizards of the Coast has its own little. I'm different from the way Wizards of the Coast uses phaseras. The phaseras in our world are used to suppress and distort magic altogether. Think of it as magic radiation. That mostly, pretty much all 98% of the time you will find in the Underdark. Sometimes you can even see phasers. They're like little orbs of light that kind of float around like spores, kind of. Sometimes they literally suppress and distort magic. Or some people can drow know how to harness it and use it to their advantage, such as using it in their prisons. And for anyone who doesn't know, drow are dark elves that live in the Underdark. Okay, any questions so far? We got to the color, we got to the trees. Any questions so far? And if I'm forgetting anything, feel free to speak up. Alex is also, for everybody here, Alex, my wife, is the Dungeon Master Assistant. She is the only one here. She knows about... Going into every session, she will know about, I would say, 70% about what's going to happen. However, you can ask these two. She has never once and never will use any player knowledge or anything of the sort. She's helped create this world and helped develop this story. You look like you want to say something.
No,
What?
no, I'm
Much
not-
to the detriment of her own character, she will not use player knowledge.
I have derailed sessions. Like, I helped write the session. And I knew that these were the logical paths. I put my character in this situation, and he looked at the map and went, wait a minute, there's a third option. We could go this way. And he texted me and was like, going through the Underdark, huh? I was like, yeah, I didn't think about that. I was
We didn't have. Never mind.
So
We'll talk later.
she has proven time and time again she doesn't use it for her advantage. She never has, and she never will. She's someone who loves the story and loves this game. So she is my assistant because there is a lot that it's her world too, is the bottom line. In fact, I'm not even the sole creator of this world. I didn't start this world. This world was started with my wife and her best friend from high school, which
It's actually Gabe.
Gabe. For viewers at home watching this, whoever, in the bottom left of the screen, every once in a while you'll see Gabe's Instagram pop up. They did the character art for the characters we have so far. Obviously, we haven't got character art for 2, as you see Tiny on the screen, and you see Bim. We don't have their stats or their character art quite yet, but we are getting it. But Gabe is awesome. Gabe has done the character art thus far. So definitely go out and check out their Instagram if you have a chance. I think it's just iGabs, IGABB. It'll pop up here on the screen. You'll see it.
Gabe's great.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So, yes. Rains, I went over the moons. I went over a lot so far. So, okay. Any questions so far?
Yeah, you mind if I go and grab the scratch pad?
Sure, man.
Yeah, the car.
Sure, no problem. Is there anything I'm missing so far? Anything I forgot to bring up about the veins?
In one of the bags.
That's another thing. Sometimes you will see me turn to Alex and ask, have I forgotten something? Because
I mean, not unless you want to mention vein stones, but that's not something.
I will not mention vein stones in this. It's very reasonable to say none of you know what that is. It will not be relevant for session 0.
The auroras that sometimes are in the sky.
Actually, if you want to take over on that one, if you wouldn't mind, just a little bit about the how it's literally. I can do it. I'm sorry. I'll do it. I'm sorry. Okay, there. So I'll kind of reiterate for Taylor when he gets back. But there are in the sky. There are irregular, very irregular. You can see them. You'll never see them in the same spots twice, but sometimes you will. You never know where they're going to be and when they're going to be. But there are sort of teal-colored. Do you call them just aurora borealises in the sky?
I just call it aurora.
Yeah, I think you just. That's all I can think of how to describe them.
They're
what
like
is.
snakes of color.
There are snakes of color that stream in the sky, kind of like aurora borealis, and they appear every other place in our world, and you never know when they're going to show up. It's very all over the place.
It's almost like a tear in the atmosphere that leaves like just a ripple of prismatic light. I guess I don't know.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
If that's a good description, but that's.
Yeah. I mean, it is good scenery, and it is something to note. So it's good to know. Okay. So I think that's all as far as what y'all need to know for Endrielle. In general, I think that's what you need to know. As far as knowing how old, the year that everybody in Endrielle knows about, it is universally accepted through times and wars and basic and people that have kept records that are keeping records. It is understood that the world is in the year 8891, what's known as the Novum period. And as far as what that means, Novum period, that is more of a question. That's more of something your characters will have to figure out if that comes across that. But it's very reasonable to think maybe your characters don't know what Novum and the other periods are. So I will leave it at, all of you do know, it is the year 8891 Novum. So that's that year. Let's see. We can go to, and then and I think we can go ahead and move on to Merrell's geography. I keep feeling like I wrote it all down, but every time I keep thinking of something new we can talk about Endrielle for at the same time. Like I'm talking about more than I wrote down at this point. I suppose we will go ahead and skip go to Merrell unless we had any more questions about Endrielle as a whole. No? Okay, cool. So, Merrell, where our story takes place. There are many continents and places in Endrielle, but our story takes place in Merrell. If you were to look at Merrell from a top view, it would look like an elemental wheel of like a dark with a black and red in one corner, to the northwest, to the northeast, white snow hills, to the southeast, part of this it's a circular continent, sorry I should have said that, and to the southeast region is what's green trees, hills, valleys, and to the southwest we have, of course, our desert region. Each of these are controlled by respected dragons. Oh, and of course, we cannot forget the surrounding the border of all of these regions is the Black region. The Black Dragon region, should I say. So we have the Red Dragon region, which is in the northwest. The White Dragon region, which is in the northeast. The Green Dragon region, which is in the southeast. And the Blue Dragon region, the Sands, in the southwest. And then we have the Black Dragons who have the region surrounding this entire continent, like a thin line. Like if you're looking at it from above, you would see these 4 elemental planes and then a black swampy circle literally circling it.
The borders between, are there like a gradual change in it?
It is more of a gradual change. There are no walls per se. As far as, people, if you're from, depending on what region you're from or where you are from, for the most part, you can just travel. A lot of times you will need permits. You'll see as we get into the story, it really depends on what region and who you're going through as our story progresses. As some of your characters might have come from a black region or another region, and then so your character might know about that, and we will address that when we get to the character art here pretty soon. Yes.
Is there one dominating dragon over each region?
Yes.
Or?
Thank you, Summer. Yes. That is really quick.
Yes.
I like them. You're like a natural ranger or druid. They're all just circling.
All the animals are just around him.
He's got a cat in the lab. The dog won't leave him alone.
Huh? No, I'm just opening it up. It's right here. It's a big deal. Oh yeah, can you?
Yeah.
It's really quick. I gotta look this up. I gotta look up the dragon lords of each region. I had it pulled up. I just kept going back.
He's like melting in your lap. Oh my gosh.
Gross, adorable cat.
Okay. Yes. So there are. Do you have it?
It's in a Word document.
It's in a Word document. Okay. Smelly cat. Smelly cat.
Roman sofa.
I love how many animals there.
Oh my god.
I love animals.
Take them.
Take them.
Take everyone but the dark brown.
Some of them
dog.
are
We don't
on
have
the notes
anywhere
screen.
room.
If you want to start
We
with
got
those while I
fish, one
find.
cat, and a bearded dragon. And
Okay.
the dragon.
I think I just need. I have the red.
It's online.
Here we go.
You have them?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a phone, please.
I paid.
Okay, so yes, each. Summer, you had asked about the regions of each dragon.
Yes.
The way each system works, I just wanted to have the names. That's why it took me forever. Each region, so we'll start with red. It is known as Endrielle. Enderkiln. Enderkiln is the red region, the red dragon region.
One more time.
It's okay. No, it's okay. This is what session 0 is for, and this is basic knowledge. All of your characters may or may not know this. I will allow you to decide if your character knows these region names, so you can write it down if you want to. So this might be common knowledge. So the red region, Endrielle that's the name of the red region. Enderkiln is the red region, and the overlord his name is Di-Ixa. D-I space Ixa, I-X-A. Now really quickly,
D-I.
D-I space I-X-A.
I'm dyslexic.
There is, really quick, I'm going to keep this.
Okay, sorry.
So the way this works is there is, in each region, since I gave you a dragon overlord's name, each region does have an overlord or an alpha or a top dragon that runs each of these regions. However, in each of all systems of government are generally, I'm trying to word my thing carefully because I don't want to give you wrong information. All of them are basically structured the same. Basically. Now, this is very rough what I'm about to tell you, and we'll take it region by region. But basically, in every single one, there is the alpha. They're one dragon. All red dragons answer to Di-Ixa in this region. And each dragon below Di-Ixa is all the same rank. They're just dragon lords, not dragon overlords. Dragon lords or wardens, depending on what they would like to be called. And each of these, we'll start with the green region because it is the star pupil, the exact structure that I'm talking about. This is accurate. So basically, the basic setup is Dragon Overlord is the boss of, or in charge of, all of the Dragon Lords. These Dragon Lords usually are in charge of their own districts or their own chunks of land. So the beginning of our story, which we'll get to soon, takes place in Evergreen Valley. Evergreen Valley is mixed up of 5 settlements. I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, we'll get to it later. But that one dragon in the green region just controls those 5 settlements in this small section of region. Everybody gets a piece of the cake in each of the region. Every dragon lord you find will be an ancient dragon, however. Merrell is not for any young dragon just to come in. It is not a place for dragons to come raise families. It is not a place for dragons to come live in harmony together. It is literally a place for dragons, the best of the dragons, to come and build something great for when they believe Tiamat is to return. Tiamat, for any of those who don't know, I'll keep it quick and simple because there's a lot of lore there. Basically, Tiamat, as all of your characters know, it is the dominant religion here. All dragons believe that Tiamat is going to return, who is the Dragon Queen. A Dragon Queen consisting of 5 heads, each representing the chromatic dragons: white, blue, black, red, and green. And so they all believe when Tiamat comes back, they want to show what they have built. And what they have done here is they have literally made an entire continent with rules and civilizations and gold. Their sole purpose here is for each dragon of their own kingdom, of their own region, to collect as much wealth and to collect as much glory with their lands as they can. So, for instance, let's say Di-Ixa is the red dragon leader. He's the overlord. Mostly overlords, you can go your whole life and never see your overlord. And that goes the same for the dragons that serve them too. Sometimes you just never see. A lot of times the dragon overlords just sit while the gold comes to them. All they have to do is rule and tell.
Must
And the
be
dragon
nice.
lords themselves, they run things. They have the humanoids of the world bring in this gold from outside continents, make money. Now the way it works is these dragon lords, they watch over their towns or their settlements, as I said, because their overall goal, make coin for me so I can make coin for my boss and I can have more coin for me. That's why a lot of times taxes are quite high here in Merrell, because they are mostly focused on getting as much gold as we can. Now, that is not to say the dragons in our world are demonized. In fact, humanoids and dragons here get along. Dragons, we all have a common goal here. We protect you. You make gold for us and our lands. You give glory to Tiamat for us and make us look good to our bosses and my overlord. And in return, I will protect your lands. I will allow you to stay in my region when their region is like their lair. These dragons have it made. There will be conflict sometimes. Sometimes they will fight over land rights, and that is acceptable. The humanoids are never really involved, though. It doesn't really affect the humanoids. Dragons do not kill humanoids in this world that you've seen. Yes.
The coming of Tiamat, the whole thing that they're expecting.
Yes.
Is that common knowledge for most citizens of Merle?
We can do whenever we jump into it, we can do a religion check for that one. If your character, it is very common for most humanoids to follow Tiamat. If your character is someone who would follow Tiamat, I would probably give you an advantage on a role like that to know if you would know. There is, but a large lore, whether you believe it or not, there is a large crater in the center of Merrell where it is said where Tiamat was either destroyed or banished at one point in time a long time ago.
Is that common knowledge?
It's that right there. That part right there is a little more common knowledge. Like you can auto fail your character and say, "Oh, I didn't know that," but that's pretty common knowledge. That's like knowing someone's main religion thing. It's pretty common. Like, yes.
Kind of bouncing off religion. If you worship another god or goddess, is that something you kind of just
religion free? Yeah. Well, okay. So, player knowledge. You know how dragons can be. They are very my way. I am right. Tiamat, only Tiamat, and it is that way generally. There is freedom of religion. Humanoids will, like other humanoids from other towns, if you don't follow Tiamat, no one really blinks an eye, actually. But it's almost the best way I can say it, it's almost like an unwritten rule. If a dragon lord is in town visiting, don't mention, your other god.
like, who's really cool? Hell.
Like, the dragons, I'm sure they know not everybody here in the land worships Tiamat. But the dragons also are aware when Tiamat comes back, they're not going to necessarily be looking at their humanoids.
Yeah.
Did you have something to add on to that? Was I wrong about something?
No. The one exception to that rule is Bahamut.
Oh,
You never
never.
mention Bahamut.
Oh, right.
You never say anything positive about Bahamut. That entity
Fuck that guy.
might as
That guy
well.
sucks.
He's the
yeah,
worst.
You and
Voldemort.
yes, as we are Dungeons and Dragons players, we do know chromatic dragons are evil. However, in this campaign, I want the idea, the campaign that the story I'm trying to run is, while yes, in the rest of the world, dragons are evil. They are conquerors. They are bad news. We are to fear them. In Merrell, I want more of a sense of, oh, it's a dragon. Is that our dragon lord? Oh, that's a foreign one. Huh. If a dragon lands in town, just make sure you don't get stepped on. Just continue about your business. That's more or less kind of the environment it is in Merrell. We respect, we fear, and we just do what they say. They provide for us. You never see a dragon just killing or pillaging because y'all are their moneymakers. They have a system set up
They're
here.
more like CEOs.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
actually,
I love
yes.
it.
If you, it is, and you joke, but it is kind of like a business. That's a good way of saying it. It is kind of like a business standpoint, the way Merrell is being run, a religious business structure. Yeah,
So you said the overlords are always ancient, and the dragon lords slash
all of them
wardens,
are
they're
ancient.
all ancient.
There might be a few adults if they
Okay.
proved themselves, but the thing is, just to be a dragon, a dragon citizen or dragon with land in Merrell, you have to be quite an impressive dragon because all dragons or most dragons want to be here to give glory to Tiamat.
They need
So you
to
got to
have-
be a top dog to be here because they're not going to say, "Here, let's share some of our land with that new dragon." No, you got to fight for it, or you got to be quite an impressive specimen to have some land here in Merrell. Any other questions so far? I'm loving these questions.
Dragonborn.
Dragonborn, yes.
Yeah. How common are they, and would they hold any sort of station where it's like, oh, Dragonborn's in town, we kind of gotta keep our stuff in order?
Dragonborns are. I see your. I see what you're getting at there. It's Dragonborns, however. They kind of know to stay away. They're almost uncomfortable around their own dragon lords. Like they don't live harder lives per se. It's just a little bit more uncomfortable to be a dragonborn in these lands.
Okay.
Dragonborn are actually not. Are you trying to just say it? What's up?
Are they slaves?
What?
Because of their relationship.
No. That's what I was getting at. Yes, because dragonkind are. It's more like they're tolerated. Like it's just fine. You can be
Do
here.
they have imposter syndrome? Like, I'm not a real dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're
It's kind of
Like-
the vibe I'm getting.
Merrell is very, as far as humanoids go, it's very equal opportunity. You know, it's very everybody can practice whatever they want if you're in the right civilization. However, everywhere around Merrell, it's kind of like it's a dragonborn. It's kind of like they're almost like it's almost like their existence mocks Tiamat. But everyone at the same time accepts that's not their fault. It's awkward being around Dragonborn in this land.
So they're not like a regular citizen. They're like slightly.
They now that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. They are treated like there might be some civilizations that might be like no Dragonborn or something like that. But actually it's quite common just to kind of just deal with the Dragonborn. Like most people understand Dragonborn, but they can't help it.
They're second class.
Yeah, they are second class citizens without being second class citizens on paper, but they will probably be like if they're in a bidding war or if they're in some sort of dispute over who gets this land or who someone's going to sell a property to. If you're a Dragonborn, the scales are not in your favor for a lot of things in this world. But there is no laws. There are no most of the world. There are no laws against the Dragonborn in this land. So generally, it's okay to be a Dragonborn. Just be prepared for looks.
Where would it not be okay?
Now Merrell is big, and the way Merrell works, and it really depends on your region and how your dragon lord might want to run things. So we're going to start for instance, we're going to start in Evergreen Valley. Well, the next region over, which we haven't got to yet, the next region over might be running things. Well, I'll just tell you right now. To the east of Evergreen Valley is all elves. It is an all woods, all wood elf population, and that's all that's allowed there. They don't allow humans, and this dragon is okay with that. Like he's like, I leave my elf. The dragon lord over here to the east. He's like, leave my elves alone. If they don't want you here, get out. You know. So yes, it depends on your region, but
Okay.
But at the same time, you should never be afraid of just crossing into a region. You know, you'll get fair warning and signs and things like that. There's a general understanding in Merrell sort of deal. You'll be able to feel it out, and especially as your character traverses the land, you'll learn how things work a little bit more. Some of you have already traveled a little bit, as we know. I believe 2 of you have not traveled at all. when the story starts. So I guess all of you will know a little bit more when we get to that point. Oh, did you have a question, sir?
Oh no, I just clicked a
Oh.
and it pulled up a video, and I was like, no, close it. It's the audio.
Okay. Cool. So I think we got to... Huh? Oh yeah, I'm done with it. Oh wait, wait, open it back up. I gotta say the other dragon lords. I got on a long tangent again.
I'm writing them down for you. I have anxiety. I can't be away from my electronics.
Oh, millennials.
Okay. Just give it a second while she writes this down. Just gotta finish that up. But while she's writing that down, I will say, like I said though, not all regions are run the same. For instance, just a little bit of about the black region. It's not run like a civilization structure at all, and we'll get to that whenever we have a character that has been there. I think Tiny is from there. We'll get to that pretty soon, but yeah. Okay. So I put character creations first because I think it's smarter to talk about the world before we do character creations. So really quick about never mind. I need to quit jumping the gun. I need to stay to my notes. Can you have those written down?
Some of them are all in your notes.
Okay. Okay. So red, blue. Okay, yes. And then for the blue region, the blue region is known as Iskbalaze. ISK space. Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, I talk really fast, dude. Don't be afraid to tell me to slow down.
If you want, I think you already sent me some of this information too, so I can go ahead and.
Well, I'm gonna. It's also for the audience too. So I'd like to say it. So.
I missed something. Okay, shoot.
Okay, we got it's okay. We have Iskbalaze, that is the blue region, and the dragon overlord of that region. His name is Kapesk, Kapesk.
Kapesk, and then Iskbalaze is that one.
Iskbalaze is the region name. Yeah.
ISK.
I'm gonna keep this piece of paper.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's Iskbalaze.
Oh, it's
Alex
two.
came up with these names, didn't she?
Well, some of them.
No, actually I did.
Oh, really?
I think she came up with like two of them.
It's Belay.
ISK space BILAES. Iskbalaze. Oh, you got your own player's
I'm
handbook.
gonna need to connect the printer at some point.
Looks a little better.
Later.
Oh, yeah, whenever we get home, I'll take it out of the car.
We don't have. Is there any plug yet?
Green down. Okay, you're right. Okay, I see. You just put white on both of them. I see what happened. Okay.
Yeah, because one of them was kind of sloppy.
Yeah. Take your time, guys. Whenever you're ready. I'm not in any rush.
And the overlord is Kapesk.
The overlord of the blue region, Iskbalaze, is Kapesk.
Gotcha.
And it's possible, I a lot of this was started just on paper. I might pronounce this differently down the line, to be honest. I'm just reading it after the few months of creating it. So the green region, which is where our story begins, we start in Theralim. Theralim. That is where our story begins, and that is where Evergreen Valley, that is where Brushwind is located. And the dragon overlord of Theralim is Weog Alti.
Yeah, what?
Weog space Alti. Weog Alti.
ELG.
Oh, Weog Alti.
Weyog. Weyog. Alting?
Oh, yes, Alti. Sorry, I was overreading. Yes. Okay. When everybody ready to move on to the little... I think we only have two more. Yeah, two more. We got the white region, of course. It's just known as Whalem.
Whalem?
Yeah, some people say the Whalem, but it's generally just Whalem. And this the Dragon Overlord name, if you would know it, is a big one if you're ready for it.
Nope, hold on.
I actually like it because it reminds me of a. I'll tell you whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I love this is my favorite dragon name. It's Goulet Wixen. Reminds me of that Will Ferrell, Robert Goulet.
Goulet Fixin.
Goulet. Huh?
Wixen.
Goulet. So it's GUL space LAE. Goulet Wixen. WIXEN.
I just want to let you know how badly I spelled that.
As long as you get the
Got
most
the
of it.
pronunciation. We're good. We're good.
The black it doesn't have a fancy name for its region. It's just simply known as the Borderlands. Yeah, they did not name it. They didn't give any effort into naming it, and you'll find out why. You know, they're different. Nobody likes them. Now the black overlord, the black dragon overlord is Vuthal Hartikha. That is VUTHAAL HARTIKHAH.
This guy probably hates it if you misspell it.
And honestly, and I definitely did.
Spell it right. Spell it wrong and you die.
Goop.
That's the in-game crucible right
I'll
there.
let you
That was that's basically the structure of Merrell's. Now the beauty of this is if I know we have our characters generally already made so far, but after discussing this, if you hear something you're like, oh well, I'd rather do that. That's okay. That's what Session 0 is for, to hammer out what we want this game to be. So with this information that we have so far, do we let's go ahead and step into character refinement / character creations, where first of all, let's start off the bat. Does anyone want to roll for their skills? Otherwise, you can use standard array or point by.
I'll probably roll.
You want to roll? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a moment to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get it knocked out. So do you know how to do this exactly?
I've done it a couple. Yeah.
See-
But he could help me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the thing where we, if I got this right, it's roll 4
Yep.
D6, drop the lowest one, and that's your number. And then you do that 6 times, and you allocate those to where.
So am I rolling twice? Or am I rolling?
So you're gonna roll. You're gonna roll 4. By the way, we do. I know D&D Beyond has a dice roller, but we like to actually roll our dice here. So everybody at the we want to keep it. We want to keep it.
I think the only person the dice roller would benefit is Alex. Let's not get her Will Wheaton juju all over it.
So the way you want to do it is roll 4d6s. Take your 3 highest numbers or your lowest if you want your character to be bad at stuff. Seriously, it's up to you. It's your character.
True.
She's wondering if.
Oh, sorry.
It's one set.
You know
so
what I'm
it's
trying to say.
Yeah. So is it like one time, or is it twice, and then she gets to choose the 2 different sets, or it's just like you roll it and that's it?
Okay, so I see. So you roll all of your dice. So you roll 4d6s, 6 times.
Yeah.
You do that 6 times. You take those numbers and you look at those numbers, and then you're like, do I want to use these numbers or do I want to use point by or standard array? You get to kind of.
Okay.
You get to kind
I
of.
get you.
You can choose. I'm fine with you choosing.
I am fine with mine.
Okay, what did we did last time?
Yes.
If we're having more than one person roll, let's do it one at a time. Let's all watch everybody roll. So let's go ahead and do this.
We don't have to. Am I going crazy?
No, you do not have to roll. It's only if you're happy with your point by or standard array stats, keep them.
Oh, she got the dice at the end.
But this gives you a possibility of having better stats if you want to try for them. It's fine.
You can roll all at once.
Take this opportunity.
And since you are making,
Alright.
since you are starting to get stats together,
I'm adding more, right?
You're adding the 3 highest.
Oh, okay.
You
That's
drop
what
the
I
lowest ones, not 2. So the first one is 4, 3, and 5. 12.
I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, you do it 6 times.
When your staircase 24 times.
Ooh.
That's
That was a
rough.
bad one.
Yeah, that's 6.
Oh man. I'm getting excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a terrible human being.
5.
About
Give me
what?
solids.
Why are you terrible for being excited?
Oh, those are really good rolls. I was hoping that maybe someone else also rolled.
Well, see, the thing in one of the campaigns we rolled, she rolled like 2 sets, and they were all really good. Like she had like 17, like 2 17s and like 7.
I've legit rolled 2 critical fails in a row.
That's
Now, since we are rolling dice and getting those skills, now our campaigns, we are very much about create a character, not an avatar. Don't try to win Dungeons and Dragons. Don't say, oh man, I need to max this out and min this out for best results. No, put your abilities where your character's abilities actually would be. You will find in my campaigns, it's a lot more rewarding to do it that way. We stick to the character's most important thing.
yeah, indeed. 9.
Okay, that's 6.
Oh, I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
with
that's-
the world, you
you
said
can
when
choose
people
this
die,
or
they usually burn
standard.
their dead, right?
About 90% of the world burns their dead. Yes.
So like we see in like different regions, like
even
even if it's like the desert,
Yeah.
like will we still see trees there?
You would if it, now something like the desert. If a tree grows there, there's no guarantee how long it'll stay there. It might just shift. Yeah, it'll just if the sand moves, it might bury that tree forever. It's
Are the trees that are
move a little bit more this way if you can, or I can just actually let me see. I don't want to move this. I'm scared to move the camera. Here we go.
I know.
No, you were good. That's perfect. Actually, great.
Okay. That's one of the reasons I was like, I need my phone. I need to know if I'm in front of him or not.
No. No, you're perfect right there. I moved the camera.
Your anxiety is the cutest thing ever.
No, we're good. They're rolling. We're good.
I remember what my question was. The trees that grow of vein kind in areas like the desert or in the mountains or a place where it wouldn't usually survive, since they are not of Endrielle, since they are vein trees, do they adapt to their environment?
Yes, but like I was saying to Austin just now, he was asking about like what if you died in the desert where there are veins in the sand. What if you die like in the desert? Yeah, the tree will grow there, but will it stay there?
No, I mean like the type of tree.
Cactus.
Like
the type.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
The type of tree?
Yeah, would it be a
that could
cactus?
survive?
Yes,
Or
yes.
would
It would be a tree that would survive in the area. Yes, it will always be a tree that would survive in the area. That's so sometimes you'll get trees that look like they're dead trees because that's how it's going to be in that region anyway.
If I have to become a tree, I request a cactus.
You've already became a tree.
That's too far.
That's some people we don't know about.
Yeah, previous session.
I'm gonna roll.
Did you go with your rolls? You're gonna go with point by or standard right?
She actually doesn't know how point by works. She's gonna look at point by.
Point by, compare them.
See.
Yep.
Where did my pen?
Take your time. Sure.
okay.
If you need
Stop
help,
saying
Alex is
stuff.
right there. She's awesome at main characters.
Okay, so far we have an
I
11.
was thinking you. I was thinking.
You know what? I might keep it.
While we're
My goodness.
doing this, I think Sky Wiggity is Gabe.
And then you can click right here.
Sky Wiggity. I think Sky Wiggity's Gabe, and they said this is dope lore. I'm hyped for you guys. I think that's our artist.
Next time.
Thanks, Gabe.
Is
I
it
like to
your
roll with all solids.
You need your Yahtzees?
I just like to roll with all solids.
Huh? I heard you go. They.
There.
What your points do.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stick to your way of doing things. I'm doing a lot better just rolling one at a
There
time.
you go.
I got an 11, a 9, a 17,
No,
a
I'm
15.
Just gonna go with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, leave it so I can see what
Oh no.
Well, I was gonna change
Oh,
it
no.
so you can allocate.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're gonna go point by.
No.
Did I give Gabe the credit for Endrielle?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, because I'm not even the original
Constitution
creator.
flag, right? Or
Yeah.
just-
Constitution section.
Sexy.
Oh, so they were the.
No.
Alex and Gabe were the original creators of Endrielle. I just
Yeah,
stepped in
okay.
and added my stuff to
Gotcha.
it.
Thanks.
So I got 11, 9, 17, 15, 11, and 17.
Okay.
Two 17s.
So wait, are you gonna go? What do you know what you're gonna go with?
Oh,
I
So far?
might do my rolls.
Yeah.
I might do my rolls.
2 11s.
So you can just plug in the numbers you want right there.
Um,
And
Are you gonna stick with what you got,
Rolling.
Yeah.
Taylor? You gonna stick with what you
Yeah,
got?
I'm gonna go with a point by.
Okay.
okay, I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try for it? Okay, I'll watch it. I got you.
That's not bad. 13.
So what was
Way too high.
Down the hallway, make a right. It's the first door on the left.
You get to choose which one you get to go with.
Well,
So.
I know, but with my luck, I'm wanting her to build up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm Jack.
I got you. I got you. Don't want to say too much.
Whoa, here's an 18.
Yeah.
Whoa!
2 13s and 18.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Ooh,
10.
that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Don't mind. And then the other compound is like 2 minutes.
Oh, and I was gonna go over like what each region was actually like, but I feel like that's more of if you're from the region, you would know. So maybe we don't have to go over all that right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh man, the next part is boring. You have to go over streaming expectations. Yeah. What you got?
He got really
Yeah, I
good
got
rolls.
13,
I'm
13.
pissed.
You're
What the hell?
Yeah, it's the first time I've gotten. Usually I have like 3 negatives. And
All right. So what do we got? What do we got? What numbers?
13, 13, 18, 10, 16, and 13.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so-
not bad. That's not bad.
so I think I'm gonna take this one.
I lost a hit point doing what I did, but it's fine. It's great.
Oh, what'd you do? Take it off your constitution? Make constitution window?
Yeah, but it's fine. We're gonna have a great day. What up?
How do you go back to that?
Bless you.
Did you decide, Sarah?
Thank you. I think I'm gonna go with my roll.
All right, all right.
I'll let
There
you
you
go. Walk off. Oops,
Sorry.
sorry.
So you have manual roll and then enter them all in. Now you don't have any negatives. How wonderful for you.
I know.
What rows?
Ooh.
Okay. That's
Okay, I know that one.
Which one?
Goulet.
Oh goodness.
Oh no.
Robert Goulet.
Oh no.
What?
I don't know.
And it begins, ladies
And it begins.
This is where you're hinting that this is gonna be like the
Oh,
first one we actually talk to.
So you're
The what?
This is gonna be the first one we talk to.
The first NPC. Hello, I'm Robert Goulet.
This is a big ass dragon.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you
I
there.
feel like you have a lot of wisdom because
Okay. Oh, that's true.
he has plenty of time to do it.
So probably 10, 13, 13. It's up to you.
I don't. Is strength good? I don't know.
I don't. That is always my dumb stat.
numbers?
Even when I was a barbarian,
So
strength was my
your
dumb stat.
modifier is adjusted by every time you hit a even number. So 14, your modifier will go up to +2. At 15, it'll stay +2, but at 16, it'll go up to +3.
Okay, so it's even, not.
Yeah, it's
Got it.
13 is still a good one to have because whenever you adjust your whenever you level up and get ability score improvements, you
Yeah.
just put 1 point into it and boom,
Mhm.
better at it. So
Yeah, also you could get like in a toss, you could get in like a strength contest with somebody. If your point is like 1 higher, I might take that into account if like y'all tie in a roll or something, or something.
Look at that one.
I know.
I don't think I've ever rolled.
I don't think you've ever had intelligence.
So you're going with
that
rolls.
high.
You're going with rolls.
Rolls.
Yeah, you
Rollies.
I would roll,
yeah.
but I have really bad luck rolling.
I mean,
Stats mainly. So I'll just
I
like
don't
point by
know.
and just forego it. I'm probably gonna like end up rolling like.
I
but
don't
you
know.
could have you could roll really well.
Yeah,
You
you
could.
Yeah.
Just roll really
You
well.
have
No.
an option.
Alright.
Just do it.
Go
Just
for it.
try it.
Just
It's
roll
easy.
well.
Just
Alright.
try it.
That's what I
I mean, if
do.
you're given the option
You're
to make,
pressing roll.
if you're given the option, to at least see.
He lets you choose though.
Yeah, let's choose.
Exactly.
Alright, fine.
Yeah, so you roll as well.
Plus
'Cause
what
usually I roll
if
pretty crappy on
Yeah, you do.
I
You
think
roll
Repeat
awful.
has, like,
You roll
yeah.
horrible.
That's so mean.
No, really, it's great though.
It's good during Come on. I practiced. I've been practicing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh, is the world good?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look like a liar.
Hey, Gabe, how is the sound, if you don't mind?
11.
Like, is there any echo or anything? Just while we're waiting.
Oh, that's a bad one. Not terrible.
Everyone has.
I think sound was what I was
Yeah.
most worried about for the
But I
stream.
was worried. It's like,
Nah, it's good sound. Good, good.
Yeah, that's not why. It makes me upset.
I always or anything.
Why?
Is it laggy on y'all's screen? On your screen?
On mine.
See, I was
It is
I
laggy?
just
I never
walked
play
into
like
the kitchen.
a-
Or I just came back
heavy
from the
martial
kitchen.
art.
Oh, there is a delay.
Yeah,
There's always a delay.
Well, yeah, but now I'm frozen on the
Working.
chair.
Oh.
So I'm about to give the invisible man
Wow.
a lap dance.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Maybe don't stay on the stream. Maybe just pop in and out. You know, I'd be losing bandwidth. Maybe, I don't know how it works.
Every time I pop out it.
I feel like that's like the same thing. I can't.
For anyone to move. I just want to make sure
Oh,
I
I
don't
need
get
to-
in trouble.
Okay.
Does your thing have an Ethernet problem?
This thing,
I don't
my
know,
laptop.
you can see, like, I'm choosing
Okay,
like,
hold on,
better
hold on.
stats.
So I wonder if we're streaming because we have really long.
I think I don't know.
So that will get the
I'm afraid to. Let me see if I can.
DVD.
I don't see Ethernet cable. No. I don't see that. No. No. We'll watch the stream. We'll see how terrible it is, and we'll make adjustments if we need to.
Or how
that-
great it is.
Yeah.
We find out
Well, she was saying that there was a lag or something.
Mine works for your phone.
It's
I
probably
think that's just your phone.
It might just be the
Yeah,
phone.
okay. I'm sorry.
My phone sucks.
She
Are you
said,
sticking with what you got, or did you re-roll? Or did you stick with what you got?
"Hey, can you turn the volume on that thing up?" She said some of the people in the back are a little quiet, but she can still hear. Is that? I think you just turn it up, right?
Hi. Hi.
Thing.
Hi.
Try that. I think it's let's try that.
Hi. How's that?
She says she can still hear you. It's just a little bit quiet. So, speak up back there.
I'll just whisper essentially.
Just
No,
just always whisper with your character.
Just move your mouth. Yeah, don't even.
And we all act like we understand you, but it's just driving the viewers crazy. Yeah, crit.
This is easy game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win D&D.
Then we all just start bursting into tears, and everyone's like, "What is going on?"
What did that guy say?
At one point, one of us gets
I
up
see
and
what you
throws
mean.
our dice tray and marks
Pulls a
it out.
Marisha, just like, "I'm done."
Points
Yeah,
at
hold on.
It's gonna be.
I'm probably gonna change it.
It's funny because there's on the bottom left of the screen. There's I think if you're watching the stream, you'll see it. There's like a slideshow that says each of your characters and then your stats. But
Yeah.
obviously that's about to be
That has to
trash.
change.
That's about to be trash for some of you now.
Sorry.
Like it's
I'm
got
actually
right here.
good.
It's got Haven Everho, AC 14, Strength 8, Dex 10, Constitution 12, Intelligence 13, Wisdom 16.
It actually doesn't change that
I
much,
think
but you should still change it.
What, what?
25, yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't realize.
I'm gonna do
I
the same thing.
misunderstood
I'm-
that.
Going to point by?
Yeah.
These stats can fight it.
Did
Some
you?
of them are good.
And
some
you
of
said
them-
you're gonna stick with point by, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with point by.
Okay, so point by, you two are the only ones that changed. All right.
Yeah.
Team
Decisive.
team dice
I didn't even
roll.
try.
Team dice roll.
Team dice roll.
We
I don't
let,
want a negative.
It was
I have
so
to go with
fun,
negative, but I have to.
we let the resin dice.
All right, so we got past the dice rolling part. Do we already place it where we want the
Yes.
stats to be?
Okay. So,
Okay.
So yeah.
So knowing.
We gotta
Oh, sorry.
We gotta finish allocating.
Oh, yeah, you go ahead, go ahead.
Here.
Okay, boom, okay.
Okay, yeah. That's your background. That's all. We'll go through the character details. Actually, you have to go back to race. Because you need to select your source initiate your spells. That's all. Those are all fans.
Alex, your hair looks like you just stepped off of a nice photo shoot, and I'm all about it.
This?
It's like
Because
volume.
it's so
No, it's because there's like so much volume. It's very
Yeah,
voluminous.
Well, I can tell you what you had. You had Firebolt, Mage Hand, and.
I'll teach you a trick of the
Armor.
trigger. No, I love
You
it.
want the same thing.
It's like circa 1992 brick shields, and I love it.
Around the time of.
Like circa
Does
circle.
that see-
Okay.
I
There's no way. I thought it was like a or something.
So
Yeah,
with the
you
green
already- I already
region,
selected your Lord Great Kobold.
what is the primary race that
Go
lives
to
there?
the-
Are certain races allocated Like,
Yes.
Is there more race in one? I don't know how I'm trying to.
No,
ask
I know.
it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There are demographics ish to each region.
Okay.
Like
That was the word I was looking for.
all you can find. That's pretty safe to say. You can find every race living in every region, but yeah, some regions are more dominantly this or that. For instance, Therelim, the green region, is gonna mostly be elves and humans and things that are more interested in living comfortably, like you or I would want to live.
Okay.
Or, so I would say mostly humans and elves.
Okay.
Probably mostly elves because of the vast amounts of wood elves, because of the vast amount of woods in this region and
Okay.
their rich history in these lands.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I missed something. Is that all like green region?
Yeah, she was asking about the green region, like what was the dominant race, and I was saying in each region there are dominant, races that dominate, whatever. So knowing what, hang on, let me see what order that was supposed to be brought up. I'll wait till you're done with your setting your stats if you want to, Sarah. We have this whole time set up part for character creation, so it's fine.
We're done with the stats, right?
Okay.
You know what the stats? We have to do starting equipment, but we'll have to go through.
Okay, that's fine. That's what we're here for. I set a whole section just for character creation, and this is for anybody else that has questions as we go along. So, the next part, since we did the numbers, the ability scores, as far as where your character's from, are you two still happy with after what I told you about the world? Are you still happy with being from Brushwind? I believe. Okay. What about you guys? Are we still happy with where our characters are from? You three, Austin, Summer,
I'm
Sarah.
happy.
Okay, everybody's happy with where they're from. Does anybody have any questions about where they are from? Perhaps something that you might want to know.
So something I did want to know is where kobolds would technically originate from. Like, my character's backstory is like starts in the Black region.
Right, I remember that.
But technically, I was stolen from somewhere.
You were. Now, your character is a little more of the newly created. Am I saying that right? Yeah, one of the more newly created. So I'm not sure. Does your character know where they are from? Like, so maybe that's something that might be addressed somewhere in the story. However, knowing where you're from, that will be something you and I will discuss, or maybe something I might surprise you with as in the story. But I guess that would be a good question to ask in session 0. Would you want a game where I take a hold of that, or do you have kind of an idea of where she might be from?
We did write our backstory, but there's like some spaces where we left like
There's room for ambiguity.
yeah,
Okay.
like I'm totally cool with what take the information
And do
roll
with
with
it.
what you want.
That's
take
basically
what you
how-
don't want.
good.
You know, obviously, like I'm all open.
Okay, that's basically how I do things. Like, write your backstory, whatever's not there. I might text you and say, "Hey, did you forget to write this, or is it actually open?" You know, I'll usually kind of give you a heads up. Hey, I'm probably about to do something with your character. So yeah, if it's left open, I'm probably gonna play with it.
Okay. Please.
When writing your back,
I've even thrown some stuff in there for you to play with. So.
yeah, do you have any questions? How much of your life? If you don't want to say this in front of the other players, you don't have to. But perhaps think of how long your character lived in the Black region before coming to the Green region. One thing I do want us all to kind of be on the same page. I am not by any means a railroad DM, but railroad DMing means do this. This is your motive. You have to do this. My world is very open. Do whatever you want. However, to get the hook and the story going, I do want y'all to think of why your characters would be at somewhere like Brushwind. Odds are you're looking for money because I'm starting all of you off poor, and you need to survive in this very harsh, hard to live in world. And you need coin to sleep and survive because sometimes in between settlements it can be a little dangerous. So it's ideal to maybe, sleep in a town if you can. You need money to live or to prove yourself or whatever it is your character's motives are. So maybe think of what you're doing in this region if you're not from this region. And maybe think of how long your character lived in that region before deciding to come to this region and why they're there. Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody?
No,
Okay.
you didn't lose us.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe think about that. Does anybody need help connecting a dot there or finding out why they're there? I can tell you, as far as money opportunity, anyone who's not from, all of you know about probably. We'll do a history check for that. But you came here looking for opportunity, most likely.
I really want to roll a die.
Not right now. Not right now. Sorry.
First
Sorry.
dice roll of the
Sorry.
game.
Not that. Not yet. Not yet.
This is the
I got a question.
Yeah.
So, can you like describe
Brushwind?
Brushwind.
a little bit?
I
so
actually,
we can-
Alex, do you have the map of Brushwind?
just so
It's on the laptop. I don't know if I have it.
Okay.
I got it in a text
Brushwind
conversation.
is-
I think I
Great,
sent it to. I did send it to
Do you want the
you
one-
two.
Do you want the one with the additional details or the one?
Just the Brushwind map.
It's in the
I
group
Here
chat.
it is.
actually.
I think
What region is it in?
it's in the Evergreen Valley.
Okay.
It's in Therolim, which has Evergreen Valley, which has Brushwind. Here it is.
That's
Okay.
Merrell. That's all the
okay.
Oh,
Well,
it's
I was
so
more like
cute.
as in
That's J.K.
That's-
is it
Simmons.
like a
Oh.
does a town like produce or
Oh, I
like,
see.
What kind of work is that?
Yes.
Because
So let's
that would
tell
be
you a
different.
little bit about. I'll give you some.
No. Oh,
It's
Oh yeah, I showed the stream this. My wife made that for me
Toes.
for a Valentine's Day, and I just loved it. I put it on my
That's so
That is
cute.
pretty
So Brushwind. Let's go over. I'll go over what I wrote down for Brushwind, so you guys can know a little bit about it. So Brushwind, it's mostly, pretty much all half elves, humans, and some halflings. Government. The way the government works, there's one. This is something you two will know, so I'll go ahead and say it out loud for the stream. The way the government works here in Brushwind, there's just one guy, I won't describe him, who makes generic calls. He's a burgomaster.
what was it?
He's what's known as a burgomaster of
Mayor.
the kind of like a mayor. Sort of, he just kind of runs things very loosely, mind you. You two would know. Huh? Oh, his name.
That one guy.
That one guy.
It's that one
That
guy.
asshole that lives in that
It's
house.
NPC number 3.
Yes.
Got it. Last name 3.
Okay, his name is Folwin Elkis.
Olin Elkis?
Yes. Well, you don't know this yet. Your character wouldn't know this yet.
I'm just. Oh.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can write it down if you want to, like, but yeah, like,
I won't connect the dots, so I'll wait till then.
yeah, I was going to say, this is more for them too because they know about Brushwind. The demographics, however, you guys can kind of take note because you're going to kind of notice that when you look around. So, but as far as the government, these two would know about this. But basically, it's this one guy, will try to remind me. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but try to remind me to talk about him when the actual session starts. So I'll give you a little more details about him. But just know he's pretty laid back. It's pretty laid back. There's not really. There are guards, but the guard force is just so light here. You might see like 3 guards in the entire town that just kind of. It's very like.
Almost like a militia.
Yeah, kind of. Not even. Like, it's just like. It's like an old western town. There's like maybe 3 lawmen that walk around the entire city. And they'll switch shifts, but it's really not. The guards are not that much of an issue because
I'm
laws.
imagining the guys from Monty Python whenever they're running up to the castle.
I'm
Or they're
dead.
just like looking around like, oh, hey.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's just there's really no need. No one, as outlandish as it sounds, people don't generally break too many laws here, and when they do, it's snuffed out pretty quickly. The burgomaster's very fair. People are happy with how things are running here, and he's been running it for about 100 years now. I want to say, yes, he's been running it for about 100 years. And people are generally pretty happy with how he's running the place. It's chill. Brushwind is a place for, it's laid back. It's a good place to grow a family.
Boring.
Yeah, boring. Yeah.
That's good.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, boring, but it is. Like, Now here's the fun part. Industry and trade is a lot of alcohol and grain, mostly. That is not their only export, but is the only one that
Beer and bread.
It is the one I wrote down here. They are very fine, very very delicious wine, which is very new. This is actually something Fulwin Elkis is very proud of. He recently started utilizing his vineyards and actually growing it with his brewery. So he actually, it's kind of new, but right now he's exporting his wine and actually making a pretty penny off of it. He even built a new clock tower quite recently with the just to kind of monument his success of the winery, and people are actually pretty impressed. However, it's new wine, so right now you'll find it in taverns nearby. It hasn't really made it that far into the world yet. So like if you go around the mountain to Tristawood, which is the next city, if you were from Brushwind, Tristawood is about a couple hours away, walk from here, just around the mountain, coming around the mountain, and you might find some of your own Brushwind wine there.
So how's the corn industry?
That's what I'm saying. It's also known for its vast farmlands. There are 3. You were one of them. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you want me to say that.
Oh no, I'm fine. You can relinquish that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're one of the 3 successful farms in Brushwind. Now, while don't get too excited. Get excited, but what I mean is, your farm sucks. No, what I mean is, it's successful in Brushwind. That's
it.
I run an excellent farm in Brushwind, and people are like, cool. It's
probably the most boring of the 3 farms.
I wouldn't say it's the most boring. I'm just saying you're a successful farm in a small town. Who cares? It's one of those who cares things,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good in Brushwind.
My character doesn't care.
Yeah. Infrastructure. So we got. I guess that's just for scenery. They're doing well enough where they got some roads. When you'll see this when you guys ride into town or walk into town, however you choose to do that. You'll see that they're doing okay. They got some roads, they got some windmills, flour mills, vineyards. You'll see the vineyards. They're boasting about, the town is kind of boasting about this. It's they're proud of it.
It's their main attraction.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh. It's not the main attraction. It's definitely not that. So I might just read this part verbatim. That's history. So we won't go into that unless your character knows about it.
That's a weird thing to write preemptively.
That was so that he wouldn't accidentally tell too much.
Oh.
That's so funny. Putting stopgaps on yourself. I need to do that.
That's smart. Very professional.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's. What region are you from officially again?
Me?
If you want to divulge that.
I'll text it to you.
Okay. Is it green?
No.
It's a color.
Is it? Are you from green? No. Okay.
There is one.
I really wanted to share that, but I was gonna because there is history that maybe you should.
I've lived
know.
in green most of my life.
Not enough for brush. The thing is, I don't know. Never mind. I wanted to do a history check, but we shouldn't do that until it starts. It's fine. We'll figure that out later. Because this is some history, but I guess it can wait. It can wait. Okay, so now you mentioned. I don't know why I didn't put more stuff right there. Anyway. Now you mentioned the main attraction earlier, Summer. Now you guys especially know, and I suppose I'll let it be up to your character if you know this or not. I mean, if you're not from, that'll be a history check too. I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's fine.
that'll be. You two will know. You two will. This is a freebie for you two. You two know that this town is home to a retired celebrity. He was a traveling bard.
Is it Mordecai's?
No!
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh, God. Okay.
From Merrell, though, remember?
Oh,
Sorry. Old campaign stuff. Anyway, sorry. All right. So, yes. Anyway. Damn it, where was I,
I'm
Summer?
so sorry. Celebrity.
There is a retired celebrity living in this town, and a little less known about this, you two will know that I'll let you both decide how much you know. I'm just kind of trusting you to kind of decide how much you know about your own town. So you may or may not know there are other successful people that happen to be from this town as well. So I'll let you kind of decide if you know about them when the time comes and we're kind of addressing it.
Yeah, and Bim and Juniper up top, we already...
Bim and Juniper, that is up to you two how much you've talked, and that's really up to you two. I mean, I'd like to be in on what you're talking about, so if you all want to text me, tell me what y'all talked about, that's fine. But I imagine, yes, if you're from the same town, I believe Alex did tell me Bim and Juniper have talked on some level before.
Yeah.
So I believe when it comes to things that you know Juniper knows, or things that you know he knows, that you know Bim knows, I'll leave it up to y'all. Like, yeah, he would have told you that. Yeah, she would have told you that. I'll leave it up to you two. That's perfectly fine. Another main attraction of this place is after. This is another history check, so y'all might not know this as well. Yeah, it's very reasonable to say both of you might not know this. But, so I won't say it. Easy. So I won't say it. Anyway, there is also, conveniently, a very successful music store in this. Oh, I mentioned the celebrity was a retired bard, right?
Yes.
Like he played the lute. He traveled around playing the lute. He was a celebrity. He was a big deal. His name was, he was known as Huckleberry.
I can't.
That was his name.
Nice.
That was like his stage name. His last name was kind of his last name is no one really quite knows. He was kind of a private guy at some point in his life, so his last name was kind of thrown around. So, but everybody, if anybody knows the celebrity, knows him as just Huckleberry or Huck. Some people know him as Huck. But yes. Where was but anyway, there is a very successful music store in this city that people do come to visit. All of you, I will allow you to decide if you know about this, actually, because this is a successful music business that can be found throughout Merrell, not Endrielle, just in Merrell. There are parts in Merrell that might have what's known as a Birdie's music store. Like BIRDIE''S music store. They sell top-of-the-line musical instruments. If you, just walking in there, you better be prepared to drop a couple thousand gold. Just for a lute. Like, these instruments were played by some of them are signed by celebrity bards. Some of them are just made by I don't know if you know anything about guitars, but like they're the Gibson of guitars, sort of deal. Like they are like
Buddy Blaze.
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, if you have one of these instruments, you are a real deal magician. And some people come from far and wide to hopefully get a glimpse of Huckleberry, or some people come far and wide just because these Birdie's musical instruments, while they're kind of famous, you're not going to find them in every city. They're far and in between because
so it's a chain.
It's a chain.
I got
it is a chain. Like there is a guy named Birdie who owns it, and he doesn't just place them in every city. He strategically places them here and there. Like you may or may not know.
But he knows that they would.
Yeah, he places them in you may or may not. I'll let you guys decide. You may or may not know. He places them in places he knows he's at least going to sell some instruments because he knows. You can't just walk in with 3 coin and buy one of his lutes. So he's gonna place it where it's gonna count.
Yeah. Okay.
What else? Other common. What are? Let's see. Tourism. Birdie's instrument. I went over that. And Taylor kind of hit the nail on the head earlier. Brushwind is kind of boring. So unfortunately, that's about all you're gonna find in Brushwind. You might. You might find a few odd jobs here and there, but as far as prospects and hoping to make a lot of money, this isn't the place. This isn't the place for opportunity. This is very generic video game starter town. No.
You needed a tackle.
Kinda, yeah.
It's located in Elwood Forest.
Architecture mostly. I mean, it is located right next to an elven forest. You do know that. It's the city itself. Actually, I should get into that just a little bit. It actually is on the downwards on kind of a downward slope side of a hill which hugs the. I'm sorry, Summer. Am I boring you?
No, I'm sorry.
It hugs these woods to the woods to the east. It's okay. I'm just teasing. These woods to the east that hug like those elves, those elven clans that I told you about. So, like to the there are a lot of elves in your area. You're surrounded by forests and woods and things like that, and where you would find things like wood elves.
How much foot traffic between Brushwind and the Elven civilization is there? A lot,
so
like very
it's
seldom?
very possible that you might have traveled through the Elven region to get here. To get to Brushwind or whatever, because if I don't know if you have the Evergreen Valley map, but if you look at Brushwind, it's right on to the far right, just on the border, right before you hit that region with all the elves. So as far as foot traffic goes, if people, if you're not a wood elf, you're not going to stay there to live there. So odds are you're passing through that territory to make it to somewhere like Brushwind or
And
Trista
you're cool with
Wood.
that?
Anyway,
Yeah, they're not like
If you
hostile.
just-
right?
they're not hostile. You can travel through their lands generically. There's some parts of the woods, but they are very obviously marked. There are roads that have signs in Merrell that it's like this is for general travel. Don't veer off here if you don't want trouble. These are our lands.
Okay.
It's
Get on that
the
property.
the thing is there is bloodshed. There is wars in these lands. Like there are territory disputes, but it's tricky because let's just say that's not even realistic, but let's just say Brushwind wants more land for their tiny houses. So they want to take some of the elven land, so they go and attack and take it over. Well, there's a problem there. You just messed with another dragon's income because you sacked that city. You better be prepared. If you're going to sack and take conquest, you better be prepared to pay the same taxes they were to that dragon lord. Is that how we decided that was going to work, by the way? I think we lightly discussed it, but I think that was it.
Any humanoid conflict that escalates to violence or destruction of property is very quickly shut down by the Dragon Lords because they don't want the damaging of any of their merchandise or workers. So if one region were to try to war with another, they would very quickly be set upon by the actual Dragon Lords, who would be like, unless you want us to eat you all for dinner, you will go your separate
And
ways.
just so if your character is the type of person who wants to murder someone, don't be afraid of murdering someone.
Yo, man, you.
What I'm saying is, the only thing that's an act of war is something your character's probably not going to do anyway, which is sack a city by yourself.
So conquest almost has to be sanctioned.
Conquest, you have to be. Leave the conquest to the politicians. That's something for them to worry about. Y'all aren't going to really have to worry about that unless we get into that at some point in a side quest, in a quest or something like that.
So we're all
Yes.
gonna be warlords.
This is all like, but the Underdark is a totally different story, right?
The Underdark is its own world down
Okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So the regions don't extend down under dark.
Has everyone seen the Evergreen Valley map?
I don't know.
The
Is there
one-
a screenshot of the maps?
Is that the one with
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the cities? Like
Yeah.
in the yeah.
RM.
Yeah, I got something to say about that. If everyone's seen, I think everyone's seen it. So,
I think so.
it was about the Underdark question. You said, does everyone know about the Underdark? Or
So the regions don't extend down to the Underdark.
oh,
That's just
no!
that's
It is
just the
Morel.
Shadowlands,
It
we don't
is
go there?
this.
Okay.
Dragon Lords only deal with it, right?
Yeah, the dragons aren't dealing in the Underdark. No, the Underdark is its own entity.
lost money.
Yeah, they don't. They're
So maybe an enterprising dragon.
really quick about the Underdark. The Underdark is actually a very dangerous place because, obviously, the thing about Merrell is this can be a sensitive-ish subject in 2021, but I hope people will
It's
realize
2022.
2022. Yeah, don't remind me.
Here we are.
It could.
2023.
It could. Anyway, what I was saying.
It's the future.
It can be kind of a sensitive subject in 2022, but I hope people realize it's just a game. There is slavery in Merrell. Now there is what's known as willing slavery, and then there is unwilling slavery. Unfortunately, in a lot of parts of Merrell, not all, but in a lot of parts of Merrell, it is legal, and the reason being is because taxes are so high. Some people will give up their own life so they can have room and board for their families, indentured servitude, and they don't have to pay these ridiculous dragon taxes. Like if you own your own property, you own your own land, you're paying a dragon tax, so you have some responsibility you have to look out for. Yes.
So how does that work with travelers?
With travelers, what do you mean?
Let's say like a gypsy or a traveling merchant with a caravan. Like how does that work? But
If,
it
like,
comes
they
if,
pay
like, one of them
taxes,
has, like,
too.
or like one of them have like a slave.
What is it? I'm sorry. Just.
Sorry, I did kind of put it in the wrong.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go
part of the
ahead.
Conversation. How does that work with taxes?
With tax.
With
Oh.
no matter.
If you're
Like us,
with nomads.
like
How did know?
Oh, like did you? You said you wanted to answer that?
Unless you.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine. If you want to jump in, go ahead.
So it does work a little bit differently for different regions. Generally speaking, if you are born in a region, you are a citizen of that region.
Generally.
Generally.
This is
It's
rough.
very difficult to live in between. It's very difficult to live off the land and off the grid because dragon lords, they feel that if you are contributing anything, it belongs to them.
Yeah.
So basically, if you were born in a region, you are known for living in that region. If you try to cross the borders and become nomadic, you can illegally cross the borders. It's just dangerous. And otherwise, you can get paperwork, which basically you can stay there for a certain amount of time, pay a fee.
A visa.
But yes, basically you can get a work visa, but if you want citizenship, then you have to go through all these processes. The one region where it is different is the red region because of the nature of red dragons.
We'll get into that
Tell
in
me
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
More lore.
It's okay.
Keep me.
So, is the tax system based off your income, or is there a set amount that everybody has to pay?
Okay, so
Or is it only to get
it's
caught?
pretty.
Right.
Ideally, you want to live in a city because you're going to probably pay less taxes. So what's going to happen is a dragon lord is going to look at. Well, you want to raise a city here? Well, how much land are you taking? Well, okay, if you're taking this much land, and let's see, you're going to be this resourceful, I expect this much taxes. I want this percentage, and I want someone to take account of this. Whereas if you want to, there's this one part of let's use Evergreen Valley because it's our first region, it's easy. There's one establishment that's not part of a city. It's called, you might have seen it on the map, the Fat Boys Barbecue.
Yeah, I was so curious about that.
So for instance, that is that person's own business. They pay taxes for that business because they're on that particular part of land. Now, let's say someone just came into Evergreen Valley and set up a tent and started building a ghetto little home. Well, the Dragon Lord.
Oh, here, I got you, buddy.
Of Evergreen Valley. I'm just. No, that's the Dragon Overlord.
Overlord.
That's the
Okay.
Overlord. I meant.
You can use Weruga.
Weruga. Yeah. Weruga. Yes, Weruga. He might see this person who's squatting in his lands and confront them, being like, say something like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You've been setting up shop here for a while. Where's my gold?"
Gotcha.
So yeah, you can probably try. That's what I was kind of getting a tangent just to get back to your question here. With travelers and gypsies, you got to keep moving. Don't set up shop.
So
Is there a specific town within the green region that you would have to pay taxes to if you're nomadic? Or if you are nomadic and don't have a set hometown, who do you pay those taxes to? Or how do they catch you?
You mean,
Who's the IRS?
Unfortunately.
So my thing is like, it has to do with the backstory, and it's just like, ideally, a person in my backstory would be in the red region, and it would be a stop that would be made every winter. So like, we'd be paying taxes in that region every winter, which makes sense. But otherwise, though, this person would be traveling. So like, would I don't know, tax collectors like try to chase them to this one location?
Yeah, there are tax collectors whose sole job, like, are you still asking about nomadic people who travel? Like, okay, so it's very. Do you want to help me out on that one? It's because it's more like if you're traveling, as long as you're not the way I had it set up. I mean, the thing is, this is where we were a little fickle. My thing was, if you're traveling and if you're not settling, you're not.
You are still like, so if you are,
because they would still have to pay some of the cities, giving some of the gold for provisions to keep living.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's illegal to just be travelers.
I imagine it would be more of like a shakedown. If you are in a caravan, if it's very obvious that you are nomadic, and I imagine it would be pretty obvious, based on like tents and stuff like that.
A dragon could shake you down. Yeah.
A dragon could show up and say, "How much gold do you have? Do you have?" And I imagine when you pay your taxes, you get a writ, especially if you are nomadic.
Okay.
You get like basically a receipt saying you did pay your taxes. So if you can present that saying, "I paid these taxes," that dragon lord can say, "Fine, what do you have right now? Give me like 20% of it, and you're good to go."
Okay.
So,
Well, later, whenever I share, I guess, with since
Yeah.
both of y'all probably agree, if there's anything I need to change on it, just later on.
A change on your character sheet, or like, what do you mean? I'm sorry.
On the backstory, but that's
Yeah. It's like that's kind of what session 0 is for, just to kind of that's exactly what it's for. Work out kinks like this. Like, if we have any questions about the world and stuff as we go along. That's great. So, I think we left off on slavery though, but yes, that is an optional way of life, living as a slave. You sign a contract with somebody in wherever that might be and say, hey, I'll give you this many years of my life. I just want a place to stay. I'll do this, and that. There is, unfortunately, also unwilling slaves, and those are just as legal. Those are usually sold by Underdark raiders whose sole job is to go into the Underdark, find slaves, and sell them to people of Merrell and things like that. There are parts where it is actually illegal because some people, unwilling slavery is illegal, but a lot of parts it's uncomfortable, but it's there, unfortunately. Yeah. It's like, I will say it's fortunate that most people, that there are a lot more willing slaves than there are unwilling, because that's how Merrell is. It's a lot easier to find a willing slave because people don't want to pay the taxes. It's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility. It's, some people just can't keep up with all that.
Is there a way for you to know, like, there's a slave? Like, do they have any markings or,
So that is, there are records, like you have your own identity. There are, with new technology within the last several years, there are ways to positively identify your own slave. Like if you wanted to put them out, like put a ransom out.
like, they ran away.
Yeah.
And, like, how do you tell if this is just a regular free person or
Right.
this person isn't?
So if, so let's say this guy's slave ran away or whatever. He was an unwilling slave. He ran away, or he just wanted to get out of his contract early. He ran away. Well, a new invention in this world is that there are actually these Insta-Sketch cameras that it's popular. People will actually take pictures of their own slaves just in case something like that happens.
Okay.
And wanted posters are very easily distributed because mail is very easy to get across. And, there's, with all the assassins guilds and adventurers guilds and bounty hunter guilds, and it's difficult. Merrell has a system to keep things like this in check. So I'm not saying it's impossible to escape slavery. It's not. You could go out and change your identity. You could go out and change your name, go into hiding. It's not impossible. I'm just saying they do have countermeasures. You also have, especially if your best bet if you were to leave slavery would obviously go to somewhere like the Black region or something where you're not going to be looked for or found, or somewhere where you're not going to be required to show your identity or your nobility or things like that if you are noble. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you're a runaway slave, good luck doing anything else. I mean, it's going to be quite an uphill grind after that.
Can we refer to the Black region as the Borderlands? Because if someone doesn't realize what we're talking about
in the
it's
stream,
down to-
oh yeah, yeah, that's fun. The Borderlands. Yeah, that can be awkward.
Connected the dots.
Yeah, that can be awkward. That can be bad. Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, but since now that we did another tangent, we can go back to Brushwind. Oh, do we have any more questions? Sorry.
Oh my god, I forgot we're still in Brushwind.
Yeah, we keep getting on tangents. It's good though. We need these tangents. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything?
I'm good.
Okay. So let's see. Population's about 600. Location is in Evergreen Valley. Already talked about locations, birdies, owner. Let's see, Burgmaster. Okay, that's all we have for Brushwind. So what's next? Fun stuff. Okay, so all right. Is anyone having trouble coming up with a motive of why you'd be in Brushwind? Does everyone have a pretty good idea? Just so we can have a good start to the campaign, like and whatnot.
Does Brushwind have a particular alcoholic beverage?
Yes. Oh, they are like I kind of dabbed on this a while ago. It's more about they're all about their wine nowadays. Like they are selling their wine. They're trying to advertise and push their wine because it's good wine and it's selling well, but it's still pretty localized just in Evergreen Valley for now.
What type of wine are they selling?
Red. It's I don't know too much about wine, but it's a delicious red wine.
They give my character notice.
I love that. I love her already. Is it he?
Yes.
Is she what?
I was asking
Oh.
pronouns.
It's yes.
Okay. So do we have our characters ready to go at this point?
Yes.
Like we have our character sheets and everything? Okay.
I'm nervous.
Okay. Now we have to do I think I covered all the ground with character creations. I went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So now we can get into streaming expectations. Are we good? Do we still something?
No. It's condensation of the
Oh.
damn beer. Yeah.
Delicious red wine is all you need to know.
I like
Is it like a sweeter wine or is it like a dry wine?
You know, I've only just recently started liking wine, so I'm I just really want I like the idea that they had good wine, so I put it in. So I'm not very good at answering this particular question, but I'll do my best.
Is it hoity-toity, or is it like more of like just?
It's more of like that aesthetic feel, that country living wine.
Awesome, not fancy.
Like yeah, like
It's not
it's
wine.
yeah. It's not fancy, top of the line. It's more of it tastes just like old times, or it reminds you. It kind of tastes like nostalgic wine. You know, it's good, but it's not wine that you're gonna find at wine tasting snobby people's club.
Well,
Like a sangria.
I'm gonna tell you that my character is probably gonna ask a lot of alcoholic beverages in the world.
I will look up more about
And I
alcohol
don't
for
know
your
anything,
character.
too,
So
please
then,
share with me.
okay, we'll play it off.
Yeah.
We'll play it. I'm actually really
Yeah.
good at improv, so we'll do this. We'll do this.
Cool.
Okay. I don't have to go. I don't have to wait for her. She helped me write this stuff. So, streaming expectations. Okay. So, let me readjust the camera, make sure everybody's in. Oh, you're good, dude. I will wait for him. Just 'cause-
We're gonna see the various hairstylings of Alexandria tonight.
My hair perpetually, like,
Huh?
Popcorn.
I can
Scone
never
that I read
decide.
it wrong at first.
Wait,
Like,
hang on. What are you
I
showing me?
can't
I'm
have my
sorry.
hair up too long because then my head starts
Somebody
hurting.
Yep,
else.
I
same.
can't have it.
Oh, yeah,
too
I can see right
long
here.
because
I
it
got-
gets-
mine's
I
open.
don't
Okay,
want to
gotcha.
get
That's
my-
funny.
Yep.
I
I just
can't.
read the name and I was like, it's
not
scum,
that
not
I had hair down to my butt
popcorn.
before.
Popcorn Scum. New D&D stream. Loving the vibes.
Shaved, except for on top. I'm just growing it back again for when we get married eventually. Hopefully this year, but maybe next year. And definitely, that's one of the reasons why I cut it. Is I used to get migraines all the time, and after I cut it, single one.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my hair's like really thin, so like I don't have to worry about it being too heavy. But if I have enough,
Nice.
like if it's long enough, then it starts to hurt. 'Cause I'm like,
I miss going fun colors. I really do. I miss teal. I used to have teal. Like I had a half shade and then I had teal on the other side. She did it and it was amazing.
I miss burning your scalp with bleach.
Yeah.
Because you didn't tell me it was starting to hurt.
I didn't realize. I didn't know it was blistering.
Wow. Is that the IHOP days?
No, that was
actually that was that was what
bakery days.
I think it was stay at home days.
Stay at home days.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're talking about hair.
Someone named Popcorn Scum said, new D&D stream. Loving the vibes of the table.
I really hope. Really hope.
Okay, so...
You're doing this live.
Alright, so now we're going to go over streaming expectations. I don't like sounding like a bore, but it does need to go over. We need to go over it. Just, it's basically me telling adults how to act like adults. It's stupid, but I think it is important. It'll keep our stream in the direction we want to go. So no politics, even when joking. It's a sensitive issue. We want people to have fun when they're in our stream. We want people to feel welcome. We don't want to feel like, oh, I hate that player because they're an asshole because they voted for this guy or they think this about this. Just keep politics off the stream. We do have breaks, and we'll get to that in a second. We do have breaks, so if you have politics, that's fine. We're friends. We can talk about it off stream.
Let them think we're assholes for different reasons.
Yes, yeah. Let's let them hate us for other things, but not politics. So yeah. So number 2, please no offensive jokes towards any groups of people of any kind. Jokes are fine. Jokes are funny. I love offensive jokes. But keep it off the stream. Some people, understandably, it's some people don't like that stuff. Like, don't make a comment about. I'm not even gonna call one out. Don't say anything about any group of
It
people.
might offend anyone unless they're in character. No.
Just you can offend D&D races, but
Yes.
nothing or not. I'm not even talking about races.
Territory.
Groups of people. Don't insult anyone's religion.
If
Nothing
it
like
exists
that.
outside of Endrielle, it does not exist at the table.
Yes. Talk about Endrielle politics and religion and
You
groups of
worship
people.
Aelor?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Bahamut. You're not even supposed to say his name. Let's see. Number 3. I kind of already touched on this. There are touchy subjects in our games. I like to have a sense of stress and immersion and reasons as to why the world works the way it is. So unfortunately, yes, there are touchy subjects like racism and slavery. It simply is for immersion. It's for a game. Just remember, it's just that, a game. It doesn't reflect any of our views here at the table. I don't feel like I have to say that, but I'm going to say it anyway. So let's just be cool. No one's trying to offend anybody here. But I'm just saying there might be touchy subjects. Now, if there are any touchy subjects you don't want to go over or have in the game, that's fine. Just, you can say it here at the table. You can text me privately. Hey, please don't bring that. Let's not touch on something like this. Something that makes me uncomfortable. Am I making myself clear?
Is there anything that triggers? Any triggers?
Trigger. Things that'll upset. I want everybody to have fun. I want us to have fun. I want our viewers to have fun. So, is there anything that, any subjects that'll upset people here at this table that will make you not have fun?
I mean, nothing that I think that you've already touched on.
Yeah.
There are common sense sort of things that might be a trigger.
Yeah, like slavery. Like there might be one thing that they'll tell you. I don't really, when it comes to sexual contact at all, I really don't play with it too much. Yeah, I'm sorry if that upsets anybody, but I kind of do the camera pans to the curtains deal, So, but there might be times where things allude to. I won't show it because I'm not comfortable with it myself. There might be times where something is alluded to, maybe sexual assault or something that might be not really okay in this world, of course, and it will be shown in a negative light. Nothing will be.
Obviously, won't be glorified.
Yeah, nothing will be glorified. But I'm just warning you guys now. My world is immersive. My world is brutal, and there are touchy subjects. That's all.
There could be NPCs that have had.
Yeah, there are NPCs that are rapists. They're horrible people. These awful, disgusting people in my world. I just want to warn you guys, so we're all having fun and we have the same respect. This is a game. We're trying to tell a story. We're not trying to offend anybody. We're not trying to prove a point.
If you can handle Game of Thrones, you can handle the kid.
Think Game of Thrones. There you go.
Jesus.
Yeah, I only got one episode in. I don't know.
Oh, man.
The first episode has a lot going on.
That was more than enough. No.
I watched a clip of it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, man. Oh, Game of Thrones is awesome. Anyway, sorry. There will be a...
Oh, we can still be friends.
We'll talk later. No. There will always be... Get out until you've seen up to season 3. No. There will always be a 10-minute break during every session. This is... Oh, I thought you were reading. This is because there are, ads that I might want to play in the middle of, this gives us a chance to kind of stretch our legs, talk about what's working. I'll go over this later, but there might be times I'm doing something or someone's doing something that's might be bothering you or that might need to be discussed. I was going to get into this later, but, try not to argue at the table. Use break time to talk about, hey, don't do this in the stream. Yeah, it's where you do get out. It's where you say, hey, stop doing this. Or
so that's what those boxing gloves are for.
Yeah,
100%. The slap corner, right over there.
What's going to happen, but this 10-minute break will always be there. It's mostly because I would like to promote people that help us out. For instance, Gabe, who did our art. I'm going to give them a whole section of our 10-minute break. That there's also while this break is happening on the screen of the Twitch channel, there's going to be trivia about our world playing for the viewers. Did you know this part of the world is set up? Blah blah blah. It's just going to be did you know tips and stuff like that.
Brad Pitt actually plays this person.
Yeah,
and he is uncredited.
In this episode, our Dragon Lord will be played by Liam Neeson. So that'd be so cool. That's pretty much what it's for, and then and I'm gonna keep it kind of in the middle of the session. I think we're good from 7 to 11, right? Because we all live kind of far as well. 11's good.
I live so far.
Is 7-11 okay with everybody? Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes. It's Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
Saturdays. Yes.
Yeah,
Saturdays. There might be maybe time where you're gonna ask hey, maybe 30 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
But we'll give you full warning before.
If you are late, if you can't make it, I'm gonna do the story will go on. If you can't make it to a session or something, but yeah, just let me know as long as I have to be able to prepare that session. Okay, and then I'll probably just default your characters to do whatever they can just to not get hurt. So, and then I might even talk lightly as your characters. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen, like, Critical Role or other streaming.
My whole introduction to D&D has been from podcasts.
Well, yeah, there you go.
From Adventure Zone, Join the Party. What was the other one? Not the D&D podcast, and I just started going through the backlog of Critical Role. I'm like episode 75.
There you go. So you understand, like, if Ashley Johnson, who would be missing a lot of episodes, they make it work though.
Yeah.
And it's kind of understood that the other characters just maybe not interact with that characters too much that session, kind of give them a break, and I will just.
Unless someone needs to be revived.
Yeah, something like that.
I will make you be a tiny pink kobold.
I will default your character to make the best possible decision while you're not at the table.
And you can watch the stream and text him, try to text him.
You can do that. That is an option. You can
this.
say, actually, I wanted my character to do this if you wanted to watch the stream or something. But
speaking of, can you put a link to the Twitch into the group chat? That way I can let family members know if they're interested. Because my brother mentioned that he's actually a little interested.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a... it's actually on... did you follow the Instagram or no?
It is on Instagram.
There is... I made a link...
One.
Oh, okay.
I made one specifically for this.
Okay. This is for everybody. We actually on our Instagram channel there is a link tree where it has all of our links. Right now I think we have a Twitter, a TikTok. This obviously, I think that's it, right?
And Instagram.
Instagram, of course.
Instagram at Goblins Stream.
Mhm.
2 X's.
Summer is. I should probably mention Summer is pretty much our webmaster. So she has done our ads thus far, pretty much. She set up the Instagram. Not pretty much, she did. Yeah, she set up the Instagram and all that. So yeah, so thank you, Summer. It was awesome. Let's see, where was I? Oh right, expectations. That we got all that from 10-minute break part of the notes.
Wow.
that is me. I go off on these tangents, man. Anyway, so there will be a 10-minute break. During that time, you can use the bathroom during the stream. Who cares? But that's just where that 10 minutes is where we can really just lay back. I'll mute the stream so people can't hear us. It's also, but like I was saying earlier, though, I'm going to make bullshit calls. Y'all are going to do bullshit things in the middle of the game. It's we're going to do things that irk one another or aren't right. Now, those, to keep the stream and the game flowing, don't argue. Let's say I make a bullshit call. I'm going to make a bullshit call, like something that's not fair. It's not on purpose. It's just in that moment I might see something being done a certain way, and then you might say something like, "Well, that's not right because of this," and then I'll listen to your case, right away, and I'll be like, I'll take a second, and then I'll consider it, and then if I say no, just leave it, and then wait for the break to say, hey, so what I was saying was this, and that, but you still did this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and that gives us I'm rambling, sorry.
In other words, it is fine to contest a call by the DM. As long as once you've had your word and he has had his, you drop it.
Yeah, DM has a final call.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm
don't
not.
sit and argue for 20 minutes.
I'm not all tyrannical, but what I want to avoid is arguments on stream, and especially long drawn out about one damn subject. I'm like, oh my god, those viewers are like, oh my god, just take the call or something, If you call, but if it means that much to you, just bring it up during break or after the session, and I will do my best. And if I see things your way, which I listen, I really do. And if I'm like, okay, yeah, that was a bullshit call on me, I'll do my best to make it right. Like when we come back on, or I'll fix it, or I'll say, well, what actually happened was we'll fix this. My point is, let's work together here. Let's not argue on stream. We're all gonna do bullshit things, and then let's save it for breaks and after stream to bring it up and draw it out. Again, like she said, you can contest it in the middle of the game. Just keep it short and simple, and I'll try and see your way. I really will. I'll always try and see your way.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now drinking on screen is totally fine. I'm probably gonna do it myself. Just please. This is one of the things. Just being an adult. just please know your limit and don't get too drunk where you disrupt the gameplay. Being drunk is okay. Being disruptive and obnoxious is not. That's just what I wrote verbatim. That pretty much goes without saying. I would like maybe no. Never mind. That's fine. Here we go. Number 6. Going.
Like, left us hanging.
No. I was just gonna reiterate what I said. I do that a lot. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No illegal activity.
No illegal activity. You know.
Okay.
Don't do stupid.
Don't
Don't do
just
stupid
live in
crap
it.
on camera. You know, just be cool, guys.
Don't have evidence.
Yeah. Don't have
Don't provide
evidence.
any evidence.
Do not give them evidence. We want deniability. It was Steam.
We know what you did last time.
Yeah. Okay, so number 6, going off top. I'm just going to read what I literally wrote.
Let's do that.
Number 6, going off topic is totally fine, and it can be a lot of fun to laugh and talk about something away from the story for a few seconds. It's like pressing a pause on a movie. But let's try and just keep it short, and so we can get back to the game. So, like, if we stop to like say, "Oh, this reminds me of that one time from this," we stop and laugh about like, "Oh, yeah, like in Game of Thrones," and or if we make a reference or we make a joke or we go off topic, that's fine. That's fine. We're not so strict we have to just talk about the game. But let's keep the tangents, which I'm the worst at. Let's keep the tangents. So yeah, y'all are gonna have to call me out. Let's keep the tangents short and let's bring it back to the game as soon as we can. Okay? It's because they didn't come here to watch us talk about anything except this game. So tangents are fun. Just keep them short. Unlike me. I already said that. I will sometimes make BS calls. Try not to argue on camera. We already said that. Okay, this one's really important. When a player has the spotlight, meaning they're having a moment, they're doing something that's important to them. Sir, I'm so sorry. I have to keep doing this to come around to you. I'm sorry if that's awkward.
I am not bothered by it.
Okay, I'm not either. I just didn't know if you were because it's a little weird that I keep doing this. No. She is perfect. She's perfect where she is. It's great. I'm just making sure she's not uncomfortable with me doing this.
Don't break your neck.
Yeah. But yes, when another character is going through, and it'll be obvious. I mean, when a character is going through something like something serious, perhaps a death or something that means a lot to their character, let them have the moment. And sometimes moments like that can take a while, but it's important for their story. Mm-hmm. So let them have that. I'm not saying you can't interact with them. I'm saying, I just found out my father is a dragon, but now this character over here, like say Alex's character just found out her dad's a dragon or something, and then Summer's like, I want to loot the bodies instead of letting her have that moment or whatever, come on.
If you do indeed want to loot the bodies, like if that's something your character would do, that's fine. Just like, in a respectful, hushed tone, do that kind of a, once there's a pause, be like, wow, this is happening.
Yeah, be cool. Like, if your character actually would loot while everybody else is, I don't know, grieving a death or something, that's fine.
We need everything we can get.
Yeah, and if your character actually doesn't care about that death, maybe just be cool about it so you're not distracting from the stream and their moment. Just say, hey, I do want to go loot that. And just lean over to me or look at me and say, I do want to loot this body while they're doing that. Just be cool about it. Don't steal the moment. That's the big thing, because moments, as you will learn, or as all of you know if you've played, of course, I guess, a new player.
I mean, okay, technically I've started 2 campaigns.
Oh, there you go. But you know how fun it is when you have that moment. Yeah. When you have a moment where you're shining, you want that moment for yourself. You want that moment. It's important to your story.
Yes, normally the moment is the other people cheering. And then I'm like having to say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let people have their moment. That's basically what I'm saying. Rules on. I believe I was supposed to read rules on the phone. I reminded myself. These are the game rules. So yes, we do follow pretty close to the player handbook, but there are a few things that I will bring up, which I'm about to pull up right now.
If I'm in your way, just let me know.
I can make some go to division.
I believe I sent it to Dice Goblins. Yeah, I did. Let's see.
What number is that?
D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond. Yeah.
We need a Sam Riegel commercial right now.
This awkward silence is brought to you by.
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't really written in the player handbook rules, so I just kind of put it in there to make it official, just so there is no misunderstanding. Falling more than 200 feet causes instant death.
Makes sense.
That you are dead. You are dead if you fall more than 200 feet. Or the rules say for every 10 feet you drop, you take a d6 of damage. Now, if you have like really high health, that doesn't make sense if you fall for more than 200 feet and you're still alive just because you're a high level. That's not immersive. That's not realistic. So if it's more than 200 feet, you're just dead. You don't get death saves. You are dead. Does that make sense?
Yep.
200 feet, you're dead. Okay, we will not adhere to the player's handbook for drinking a gallon of water a day. Just make sure you are keeping hydrated. Not necessarily have to say it, but if we are in a place where you might not be able to find water, I will take that into account. Just, when you're eating, just maybe animate that you're drinking something too. Just try to... I'm trusting you guys to just keep yourselves hydrated. Just at least say here and there, hey, I'm going to take a drink out of the stream. Hey, I'm going to take a swig of my water. Just here and there. I'm not going to really keep track of it. Not going to lie to you. I don't want y'all to be stressed about staying hydrated.
Okay.
Don't.
It's not a survival
hydrated in real life.
And yeah, it's not really not to that point. No, you do have to eat.
Yeah.
But as far as water, I'm kind of grouping it with when you eat. I'm gonna kind of just be cool about it. I mean, but like if it comes to a situation where you're like in a desert or somewhere where water might be scarce, that's when I'll take it into account. And I'll make it obvious when that time comes. Otherwise, just we'll assume you're staying hydrated, but just roll by it here and there. Does that make sense, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
We're good. Okay. Okay. Initiative. When we're rolling initiative, so. If there is a tie in it, does everyone know what initiative? Everyone does know what initiative is, correct? You're a new player or new players. Just making sure. I know y'all started or you've been in it too. But okay, if there is a tie in initiative, the higher dexterity gets to go first. If both have the same dexterity, the person with the higher initiative modifier goes first. If both have the same initiative modifier, make a flat d20 roll. Higher number goes first. Yeah, so that way we're not doing re-rolling a bunch of times, seeing who gets to be higher on the initiative chart. Okay. So this one's we're gonna kind of play with this one. Alex and I were talking about this one last night, so we were kind of iffy about it. I was thinking maybe we could take a vote, maybe even on this one. We'll play by ear, but I was thinking crouching, where if you just kneel down and crouch, your knees are bent, but you're still up, like, you're just kind of hunched over. I was going to count that as not prone. You will not suffer your speed being halved, so you can kind of duck and run.
I like that one.
Do we like that?
How does that apply to small creatures?
It's this. It doesn't. It doesn't matter really. I mean, you can still. Like, I believe if you're a small creature, your speed's already 25. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think just crouching, as long as you're not all the way on the ground, you're not considered prone, so your movement will not be halved. What do you guys think about that for immersion's sake? Because I can see someone crouching and still running a normal speed, right? That's what I see.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about, not to be like a rules lawyer.
No,
anything,
not at all.
It comes to like taking half cover or 3/4 cover and all that. How would that play into effect of actually crouching mechanically?
That's what I'm saying. Like the reason someone would crouch is for the advantages of cover.
Okay.
So like if there's a 5-foot wall, but I'm a 6-foot tall dude, but I still need to get over there really fast. I can just crouch and just kind of you know,
Naruto run.
yeah, kind of, just kind of run low.
You can run with war craft.
Yeah, as long as it's not so low where you have to crawl,
Yeah.
I won't consider it prone. But is that immersively real to you guys? What do you, but she kind of had an argument for
That
it.
makes sense.
My thought was it's a strength thing because if you've ever tried to move while crouched, you are burning your muscles like they are going to be on fire. So I was thinking maybe either constitution or strength. If you're a super weak person, or you maybe have a crack constitution, you might still take that half movement. But if you're athletic, you would be able to do it very simply.
I was kind of thinking.
I thought that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, if y'all liked her idea, what I was gonna say to kind of simplify it, if we're taking that route in my head, what I was thinking, we can change it. I think this should be like a group kind of decision because I can't make up my mind. I was saying, what if your strength is at or above 12, you can run while crouched.
I would be so prone this entire fucking
But
game.
but if you're below 12, if you're crouched, you take half movement. How does that sound
Sounds
to
good
everybody?
me.
That sounds good because it's one of those things where it's like if we do like the ability check thing, then maybe make a athletics check.
Yeah.
So you have full.
Well, I'm saying there's no check. It's just if your strength is 12
Yeah.
or above.
But the alternative would be like a check, right?
Then the alternative would be a check. But,
Yeah, so like that way right there is a lot better because it's like, oh, I'm crouching. Okay, make an athletic check. Say, okay, well you can only move like 12 feet.
Okay, so you're saying there should be a check.
No, I'm saying that the alternative to the check.
Oh yeah, would be a check. Yeah. I was saying there shouldn't be a check. I think it should just be if your strength is 12 or higher, you can run hunched over.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Me too.
Everybody kind of agree on that? 12.
So say the council.
So let's go ahead and get this knocked out. Who is below 12? Who is below 12? So you two cannot crouch and
Be
run.
buddies.
You two will take half movement when you run.
I'm pretty sure I have a 10
Strength.
strength.
Do you even have to crouch though?
I mean, I'm small.
Yeah, you won't even have to do it that much. You're
a
small.
halfling.
No, yeah, I'm small.
Yeah, so this won't really affect you that much.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah, did you have something?
I'm like 2 to 3 feet.
yeah, you are literally tiny.
You are
You're small.
tiny.
You're
As my
tiny.
name, yeah. I do believe my strength is pretty. Oh, I thought it was one of the higher things too. Okay, it's 12. 12 doesn't. Does 12 beat it?
12 beats it.
Okay.
12. I mean, if you're 12, you can run while you're hunched over.
Okay.
So like you
Oh,
can.
that would be
She's
really
already
small.
really
That would be a
small.
really small area.
Yeah. So, and like small creatures, they won't really need this. It's like you're probably not going to need to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Like this is more for you're not going to need it. I think the only person that's going to kind of get the butt end of this is your character, Summer.
That's fine.
Okay, we ready to move on from this? So we adjourned for that. That's good. Okay. Good.
I need a gavel.
Now this is for my veterans. You can now meet the AC to hit.
Swag.
You no longer have to beat the AC. In our old campaigns, I know that the player handbook says otherwise, but I made them have to beat the AC, their armor class to make the hit. Now you can just meet it.
So if it meets, it beats.
If it meets, you hit them. Like if the monster's AC is 12, you make 12, you hit that monster. But that also means the same thing for the monsters. They only have to meet your AC now. Whereas before they had to beat y'all's AC too.
And that also applies for DC saving throws and all that.
Yes, that applies for saving throws as well. Everything.
Okay.
Meeting is succeeding. So that's something we're changing for this campaign. Unless y'all don't like that.
No.
Okay.
You don't have any things I haven't hit because I met the
Okay.
AC.
I'm just making sure.
I'll only like it when I tell you I don't like it.
Okay. Okay, so we got make the AC hit. Okay, so just to make things easy, crits are double. Bottom line, you can include paired damage such as a rogue sneak attack or a paladin smite. Anything that is going into that first attack, just double the damn thing and let's get it over with. I think we overcomplicated it our last session, so.
So it's literally like just roll your damage.
Yeah,
add your modifier.
You're a
and then
rogue.
just-
You're a rogue. You have a sneak attack. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was kind of worried about. I'm like, oh man, I don't know how they're gonna do crits when I was first like thinking about this because I've never played a rogue before.
If you crit and you can double your damage and your sneak attack damage all together.
So it's just I roll all the dice, add the modifier, and then just times 2.
Time 2. Yep, awesome. That's it.
That's perfect. Thank goodness.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
so
it's
much
simple.
anxiety off
It's simple,
shoulders.
but also remember my monsters get the same privilege.
That's fine.
So,
So if you might come across it later, but I'm going to ask it in case I forget. If we have to do a saving throw against an attack, if we roll a natural 20 against that attack spell, do we take no damage or is it half damage?
saving throw. I'm going to remain that saving throw crits don't matter.
Oh.
Critical fails and critical passes on saving throws do not matter.
Okay.
Do we like that as well?
Yeah.
We've been liking that. I think we've always liked that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you just to kind of basically what that means is critical fails and critical passes mean everything in my campaigns except for saving throws. If you critically fail or critically pass a saving throw, it doesn't mean anything at all. Nothing.
So if you roll a nat 1 on a saving throw and you have, like, God forbid, a plus 19 and you still succeed, does it matter?
A critical fail is a critical fail no matter what. Like, so, the thing is, it does matter in the fact that, let's say you make a saving throw and you have a plus 30 a modifier, whatever.
Yeah.
You have a plus 30 modifier, but you roll a critical fail. You still fail. You still fail. But there's no penalty.
Yeah, 1 is always a fail.
1 is
20 is
always a fail.
Success.
20 is always a success. And I will not make you roll for something if there's no point. Like, for meaning like, oh, if a critical 20 isn't going to make it happen, I'm not going to have you bother rolling for it.
Yeah, you're just going to tell it straight up.
Yeah. Like, if you critically pass, it's going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'm not going to even let you roll for it because there's no point.
Yeah, because it's immersive. It's not
Yeah, but generally I try not to say no to rolls. It has to really, really, really not make sense in my head for me to deny a roll.
No meme rolling.
Huh?
No meme rolling.
Yeah. Okay, so the way I do things, I kind of started touching on this. D20 critical, meaning for attacks or skill checks. A D20 critical means I will use my imagination and make sure your character succeeds in the most awesome, badass way possible in that moment. However, D20 critical fails, meaning roll 1 on something like an attack roll or ability check. This applies for monsters too. Keep in mind, if my monster rolls a crit or a critical fail behind the screen, if you roll a critical fail, you are at the DM's mercy or at my imagination's mercy. Meaning, I'll take with the situation and I'll make something horrible happen to you, or you get hurt, or you lose your weapon, or you fall unconscious because you ran into something. You're basically. I like to go pretty mean with it because I like the critical passes to be pretty freaking cool if I can. So I like to have two extreme sides of the spectrum. So don't critically fail.
Okay.
But basically, yes, critical fails, bad. Consequences, and it's basically just you're throwing your character up the DM's mercy. I'm not going to insta-kill you or anything, but that just means if you critically fail, you're probably going to have to do a saving throw to make sure something doesn't happen or something like that.
Just don't critically fail the saving throw.
Just
Your
roll
gun
good.
jams, you gotta
Just
spend
in general,
3 rounds trying to fix it.
Huh?
I just said your gun jams, you gotta spend 3 rounds trying to fix it.
Yeah.
You get knocked out.
Their phone's so tiny.
All right, now here's something that we've always been weird about. So now here's the official rule.
Here comes some weird stuff.
You can only bring someone back into the fight after stabilizing them. Healing potions will not stabilize a dying creature making death saves. However, you can give a potion to someone who is down to at least stop them from making death saves. Meaning, say someone's say Austin's character is unconscious because he left the table. Say Austin's character is he just got knocked down to 0 hit points. He is down. He is out of the fight at the moment. Your character comes over and attempts to revive him by doing a medicine check. You have to beat 10 to revive him and get him back in the fight with 1 HP. So, but you fail your medicine check. You're not able to bring Austin's character up. So now he has to make a death save, and if you get 3 failed death saves, you die. I'm sure we all know that.
Yep.
But by the next round, you can use a potion on him so that he at least has some health going through his body, and he's not
So that
He's not.
stabilizes
Yeah,
them?
but he's unconscious and out of the fight still.
Okay.
He's and
So stabilized and unconscious are like kind of two different things at this point, but even more so.
yeah. Like you can heal someone like that's unconscious, but they won't be stabilized and back in the fight unless you pass that medicine check or do a spare. That's correct, right? That's what we.
So that's actually, I was going to ask, I believe Spare the Dying brings them up to
It
1
stabilizes them.
HP,
Yeah, it's
but they aren't,
stable.
but they are no longer, they're still not, or it brings them up to 0?
Yeah,
I have
Spare the
this
Dying
knowledge.
stabilizes a unconscious creature.
And stabilizes is the key word. We need stabilization to be back in the fight. You can heal them to save their life, but you're not going to get them back in the fight unless you stabilize them.
So Spare the Dying does bring them up.
Spirit of the Dying would bring them up because it says in the spell stabilization, I believe.
Okay, so let's say someone uses stabilize, or someone uses Spare the Dying to stabilize a creature that is unconscious. Is that creature still unconscious, or is that creature at 1 HP? Because if a creature is stabilized, does that mean that now you can
Healing and
use-
stabilizing are not the same thing. So, like, basically, if you stabilize them, they're back in the fight.
Yeah.
And so, Spare the Dying, I believe it says it stabilizes a creature. If it stabilizes a creature, that means they're awake, they're ready to fight with, like, 1 HP or whatever the spell says.
Gotcha.
So, but you can heal people without stabilizing them, just to keep them from dying at least.
So bring them up to 1 or 2 or 5 or however many HP you can, but they're still knocked out.
Summer just
Until
confirmed
they're
it for you. Thank you, Summer.
Okay. You just can't use like cure wounds to like, okay, now they're back in the fight.
Yeah, it's like you can use cure wounds on their unconscious body if you can't revive them. Like oh, I'm going to give them some health with my spell while they're lying there, just in case something wants to attack them while they're down. Because, like the player handbook says, if you get attacked while you're down, that's an instant fail to a death save, and we are going to play into that this game. So, if you get hit while you're down, that's an instant fail towards a death save. So keep that in mind. So it'll kind of give your teammates a little bit of a, hey, should probably protect that body from that zombie horde or something, whatever. Yeah, we know about zombie hordes.
We didn't do that. We met the Raven Queen.
Oh gosh.
Okay. I'm still on the phone rules, aren't I? Any questions so far?
Sorry.
We got Netflix movies? What we got?
I mentioned the Raven Queen. She's like, Daybreak? I was like, what?
That's the name of the zombie queen in the city.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I was watching I just got done watching whatchamacallit, Our Flag Means Death on HBO Max. No? Nobody knows what that is?
No.
Oh, God. I'm such a
I don't
nerd.
really watch a lot of TV.
Shut up, Summer.
I read and I'm really into my poetry.
Oh my God. And my D&D.
D&D.
My excuse is I grew up under a rock.
Same.
Right.
I turned mine into a fish tank. Moving on. Where are you at, bud?
Really quick,
Idea.
is anyone watching that Euphoria show? I couldn't get into it. No?
Bitch.
Do I gotta get past the first episode?
Fesco is so my life. I love him.
All right,
I'm not
back-
gonna say anything.
yeah.
We're still watching 90s animes over here.
No, guys.
Those are the best.
Yeah,
They are
we
the
were
best.
watching. We started to watch. We got to get back on topic, but we started to watch Cells at Work not too long ago. That was a good one. No, yes, Cells at Work.
See,
He's seen it, I haven't.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like Osmosis Jones meets anime.
I don't think I was even I don't think I even saw it as much as Jones either as a kid.
Oh, I don't think I saw
I
it
missed
either.
out
I didn't
on
see it. I didn't see it either.
Nightwalker only.
All
where
right.
you at, bud?
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Go.
All right, that was good.
Let's go.
If a spell. All right, so now we got rule number 10. So we understand so far. Do we need any questions about bringing people back from the dead? Was I pretty clear?
Nope. Yep. We're good. We're
Okay.
good.
Okay. I mean, it's in the player's handbook, but if your negative hit points reaches, how do I word this?
Your
max
max
HP. Like, say you have 10 HP. If your hit points reach, if a monster attacks you and you reach negative 10 HP, you are just dead. No death saves. You are just dead.
So if you have 10 total health points and they hit you for 20 damage,
Correct. You're dead.
You're flatlined?
You're dead. You're
Okay.
flatlined. There is no death saves. You are just dead.
So do we have to keep track of negative hit points?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. However, yeah, because you could be stabilized with like negative hit points, right?
I mean, if you
I was always spotty on death rolls.
Okay, so I believe to be stabilized completely to where you no longer need death saves, it has to get you to 1 hit point at least. If you are below 1 hit point, you are dying.
Oh, so it's important to heal them until. That's right. So if they get blasted down too low to the negatives, but if they stabilize, they're just back up to 1 hit point, right?
Yes.
So
only track negative hit points when it comes to
Yeah.
taking the damage,
That's-
not when it comes to regaining the damage. Or regaining the hit points. Okay.
so
Regaining the damage.
we'll say like
I gained so
say you
much
have say you're at like negative 10 hit points, right? Like negative 10 hit points, and the potion does 4. It only heals you for like 4 or 5. Well, you're still making those death saves until you reach 0 hit points, right?
Yes.
Yeah, or
So
one
technically-
hit
or
point.
1, yeah.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I'm in a little trouble.
Yeah.
So we have had a little bit of interactions with being near death experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've had some
Um,
near death experiences.
We can simplify it if y'all would
But,
like to, because
my question is like, so you're saying if you have 10 hit points, you get to 10 hit points, you are dead. Right?
If you have 10 hit points and you get hit with 10, you're unconscious. If you get hit with 20 hit points, or if someone takes 20 damage off you,
Or
you're
11.
just dead.
Okay, so 11. If someone does 11.
No, then you're just negative.
So it just has to be over 10. Negative.
yes.
Okay.
Wait, what do you over 10?
It
Meaning,
has to meet your max health point. So if you
like if you have
So
50 hit points, and then you go into negative 50 hit points, you're just dead.
But if you get to like negative 45, you're still alive because you got that over.
Okay. I might need help with that whenever,
Yeah.
if it comes to it in the situation.
Right.
When it comes
My
to the
only
situation.
question in that hypothetical is that if you are at negative 45 hit points and your hit points are 50 hit points, your total maximum, do you have to regain 45 hit points or to actually become stabilized?
Okay, that's a good question.
Or is it more of the thing where it's like, as long as you get stabilized, and then someone says, okay, I cast healing word on the stabilized creature, they're now up and ready to fight.
I like that if you get stabilized, you are just brought back to 1 hit point, no matter what.
Okay.
That is what I like. But
so
we
then,
can.
if he has negative 45 hit points, and I'm like, nah, bim, and I hit him with Spare the Dying, he just comes right back up. I don't have to hit him with that 45 fucking times.
Oh, you can
I'll
just
do
you can just pop him up with Spare the Dying and he's
Okay,
fine.
just
And like
sure.
if he's at negative 45 hit points, someone can just come up and do a medicine check and he'll be back up at 1 hit point.
Gotcha.
However, if he's at negative 45 hit points and nobody's getting their medicine checks and stabilizing him, it's crucial that you heal him 45 or
Or if he
46.
takes 5 more hit points, it's gone.
Yeah,
a big
you
I'm
have
re-rolling that character.
you have to at least heal him to 1 hit point
Got
to
you.
at least save him from those death saves.
Got
So
you.
my
like that.
healing spirit when doing previously, like what I'm using.
Well, I mean, that was like a level 9.
I know,
character.
that's what I'm saying. I'm using previously, but that wouldn't have helped at all. Like
No,
it would. You'd still
healing
be
and
negative 30s.
healing and stabilizing are 2 different things.
Okay.
If the time comes and we are going to have a mock fight, we could probably go over this too. So
Everyone else dies.
we are having a mock fight in the.
I mean, whenever it happens, you know.
Yeah, that too. So, it is important that we go over it because with this group, we've always kind of went back and forth on our rules. So I wanted to make things more clear. Okay, so is there any if there are any questions, let me know. I'm happy to stop. That's what session 0 is for. So, can I move on? Anything else? Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay, this is more for just you three. Know your spells, guys. Let's keep combat rolling. So.
Because we're both guilty of it. We're always using spell.
That was just
Yeah.
bad guidance that we had.
It's important during combat, especially for spellcasters who have a lot of spells. Have your turn ready. Though if it gets to be your turn and there's just a lot of I don't know what to do. You're spending 20 minutes on 10, heck, even 10 minutes on your turn planning what to do. Nobody wants to do that. We want to keep the combat flowing. Like Like, if you need a few extra seconds, that's fine. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like,
Just shit.
you know, like I'll try and like talk and keep the stream moving and keep people energized or whatever. But try and keep the fight going. Like, try and know what you're gonna do by the time your timer runs around. If you're just taking an unreasonable amount of time, though, like it's been 7 minutes and you're still reading all your spells, I'm just going to have to say your character takes the dodge action and we're going to have to move on. And then you'll have another round to kind of think about it. Like, again, especially for newer players, I will, I'm all of you, I'm going to be, try and just be chill and give you all that few extra seconds if you need it. All I'm asking is just don't take too much time on your turn in combat. That's all. Is that reasonable? Good? Okay?
Very reasonable.
Okay.
The claws.
Okay, now I'm off the phone part of it. Let's see. Read rules on phone. Okay. Oh, and don't forget the rules I've said and all the rules I'm about to read can be bent and even broken for things like story and rule of cool. So meaning the rules are not absolute. There might be times in the story where we will bend it or ignore it for the story. For rule of cool. If it's within reason, if it's reasonable, that is.
Applicable.
We'll play it by ear, but you'll know those cool moments that need to ignore the rules when you see it. Yeah.
Does everyone have the confetti cannon cantrip? That is
There
the most
is-
important thing I need to know.
Do I have a cantrip?
There is something silly that you can have in my world. It can just be ignored, or you can take it if you want to. Everybody just knows how to do a confetti cantrip if you want to.
It literally.
All you do is just shoot some confetti. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't it's just a silly.
It's for flair.
It's just it's more for role play. Like you can't.
Beast. Yay.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
you can't actually use it for anything advantage because it
Someone's
kind of
birthday.
it almost disappears in the air anyway. It's just you don't even clean it up. It's just
I had it out. Oh, nice.
yeah.
That's pretty nice.
It's just a silly little cantrip that's in my world.
Right?
It's just silly. All right, here's an interesting one. I think I'd like Summer and Alex to kind of take over whenever I say this one because they would know what I'm talking about. So, player versus player skill checks are completely between players. Skill checks such as deception does not need to be rolled for unless both players agree to a roll. Otherwise, both you will determine yourselves how your characters react to each other. So, do you want to say what I mean by that?
So, my characters have traditionally lied out their asses a lot. And for a while, there would be insight checks against my deception or something like that. And that just got tiresome. So, it's kind of just so if my character were to just say this completely bullshit lie, oh, yeah, I'm actually part goblin, whatever, then you guys would just leave it up to yourselves whether your character believes it or not. Unless you wanted to be can I call an insight? Or can you roll either persuasion or deception? He leaves that between us. Yeah, sure.
You
I'll
can be
roll
like,
it.
Summer, can I do an insight? Can I do an insight check, Summer? Summer can say no.
No.
Summer can deny. So basically, Summer, you could be like, I want to insight check you, Summer. And Summer will be like, okay, I'm going to roll for deception.
I will
then.
never turn that down.
Yeah.
So
So you can't, or you can just, or Summer can deny. Both players have to consent when it comes to player versus player. I pretty much more or less just stay out of player versus player roles. Those are roles y'all can call yourselves when it comes to how you deal with each other. Oh, I want to roll persuasion to get your character to do this. Well, you can just say, no, I'm not going to let your character roll for persuasion to let my make your character make me do this. But I do ask, but however, there is kind of a rule there. It's if you're going to take the role, honor the role.
Yeah.
So, my character doesn't believe my deception check passed, but my character still doesn't believe you. No, you called for the insight. Now your character has to believe them.
Yeah.
Why call for the insight check if you're not going to honor it, or why call for this check if you're not going to honor the role?
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes it's better just to leave it player versus player. It's really up to you guys. So that's totally on y'all.
In cases where someone's like, "Can I insight check you?" I don't tell them I don't tell them if I'm rolling persuasion or deception. I'm just be like, "Yeah, I'm being pretty sure."
That's another good one. Like you could, when it comes to lying, I know we keep using lying as an example. There's a million examples, but this is just the one that comes up the most. Like, yeah, you do that, and Summer could basically not tell you if she's doing persuasion or deception because she doesn't want you to know if she's using persuasion or deception.
It's just the honor roll.
Yeah, it's more like she's rolling something so she can tell you if you passed or failed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is, and that's totally y'all. That's y'all's thing. I stay out of player versus player roles. Y'all can do whatever you want between yourselves. I won't call it. Generally. All right, this is a big one. It saves a lot of arguments, and it's very important. If the dice is cocked, re-roll.
Bet.
Okay.
That I don't care if it's so close. It looks like it could be a 20. If the table's looking at it and they say that is cocked, it's cocked. Just re-roll. Like if it gets caught on the corner, if it's cocked. If you are using a dice tray, more or less, you gotta have to make that definitive, I guess. If you are using a dice tray, if the dice jumps out of your tray, you re-roll. If you aren't using a dice tray, you don't have to use a dice tray. If you aren't using a dice tray and it falls off the table, you re-roll. And if it's cocked on something on the table, you re-roll. So that's what that is. Also, make sure you roll where everybody can see. People like to be in on the rolls with you. It's part of the experience of Dungeons and Dragons. That's why it's best to have dice that everybody can read, everybody can see, everybody... we like to watch you succeed or fail and react accordingly. It's part of the D&D experience. Everybody loves being on the rolls with each other. Here's something we are voting on. This will be up to all of you. So, inspiration is given by the Dungeon Master for when, in my games, when you wow me, or you think of something so clever, or you do something so in your character for the story, or basically if you wow me, and that's all I can really say, you get what's known as an inspiration. Now that can mean one of two things, and I'll allow you guys to decide. You guys can vote as players in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There won't be a tie. So let's say if I were to give your character an inspiration, would you want it to be an insta-crit where no matter, like let's say, Alex, I want you to roll. I want you to roll deception to lie to the guards so you can get into the castle. Well, Alex can say either before or after the roll, I would like to use my inspiration insta-crit, where automatically it's instantly 20, like critical 20. She passes. She's in. There's no doubt in her mind she is going to make it through. Actually, did we have to call it before you roll? I forgot. We don't. You can say it after. You can say it after you roll. Yeah, you can just use your insta-crit anytime. Now, the downside to that one is I will give those out a lot less. Those will be like a needle in a haystack, hard to find insta-crits, because those are insta-crits. That's like I get to pass whatever I want, and what I can save that for saving my character from death, because if you roll a critical on death saves, that's 2 passes, right? No, you're just up. You're just up right there. Yeah.
So that would go for ability check, saving throws, attacks.
Yes. Insta-crit goes for everything, even saving everything. The other alternative, these will be given out more often. I will be a little more liberal with giving these out. The other option, if you don't want to go the insta-crit route, is we can just do advantage. Like if you have an inspiration, you can say, I would like advantage on this roll, meaning you get to roll 2 dice and take the higher of the 2 numbers. Wow. Now those, and I will be a lot more giving with those. I will be more stingy with the insta-crit option. So what route do we want to go down? Now the advantage can be used in all aspects too. Saving throws, skill checks, attacks. Death saves as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
because the Instacrit can be used in death saves, so why not?
Yeah.
Yes, so
We're
you.
making magic here.
So yes, I will let you guys discuss amongst yourselves what you want. What kind of game what kind of inspiration do you guys want as players?
Instantly.
I don't know. I kind of like the advantage.
I'm kind of in the advantage boat.
Oh no.
Well, we still got 2.
Yeah, don't split down the middle. I'm sorry.
You're split down the middle?
Yeah.
They both sound fun. Although I really, because of how sucky my rolls are, I have a tendency to go towards the Instacrit because I know I can't fail. But it does feel really good when you get an inspiration. It validates you as a person.
I mean,
Guaranteed success or
the guaranteed success is very rare chances. So let's say like 1 out of 5 chance versus 1 out of 20 chance. Like 1 out of 20 is being able to like roll twice, but you could still roll really well.
I mean, they'll give them out more often too. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just using it as a
personally like
number.
the
I don't know.
Instacrit.
I kind of like if I still fail with an advantage, that's supposed to be the way things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
plus, I don't know.
I just like the Instacrit because
It is
feels
it's
so
a-
special.
it's a vote.
Like,
very.
Sorry.
It's a very sweet little nugget to have.
yeah, and I love
It
using it
really
for like role play
is.
and stuff because you have something that you want to.
See, now I'm kind of teetering.
Take your
I still like
An
advantage.
advantage.
take your
yeah.
time. Take your time. We're in no rush, guys.
I had to come back.
Well, unfortunately, we do have to figure this out at session 0, so we do have to linger on this.
How
So
about we roll?
Oh.
we can let the dice decide.
Either we could see like who had how many odds, how many evens type of situation.
We can't.
or-
Let's see how many definite votes we have. Are you definitely wanting Instacrit? Okay, so you have a definite vote for Instacrit.
Definite vote for advantage.
Definite vote for advantage.
I'm gonna go with advantage.
Definite vote for advantage. So far we have 2 for advantage though. And what about you 2 though? The thing is, if y'all are just undecisive, we're just gonna go with people who are decisive, which would be advantage.
Well, you said fuck when he said advantage. Does that mean you want Instacrit?
I want Instacrit.
So it is tied. So that means
Okay.
what you can do,
I
you
am
can
swing vote.
you can have the first dice roll, and maybe if 1 through 10 is advantage, 11 through 20 is Instacrit. If you want to do it that way,
Leave it a chance, huh?
yeah, leave it up to the dice.
So 1 through 10 is crit.
1 through 10 is
How
advantage.
about
11.
even odds?
We can do even and odds, sure.
Which one's the
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
She might be a really good
Odd
roller.
is advantage.
How
Even
about-
is,
How about even better? There's a quartering.
Yes.
Even better.
but it's D&D. Let's use the dice.
Roll one of them wonderful math rocks right there.
So wait,
It
wait.
has to be a D20.
So wait, what's what? Is evens?
I'll let you decide. What do you
you
want?
decide.
Evens, I guess, will be advantage.
Evens will be advantage.
Odds and crits.
Even.
We're doing advantage this
Damn
game. No. All right, but that means they will be given out a little more often. Like, do a good job. Like, yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Do they stack?
Oh, that's a
Do
good
they
question.
stack?
Pop, pop,
Ah,
pop.
that could be a changing factor.
Yeah, that's a huge.
That's actually
that-
true.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Still keep advantage because we get them more.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. So then, yeah.
Yeah. More times to throw it out. Whenever you get it.
Does
No changing mine now, baby.
But this,
Okay.
but
Just
this.
for simplicity's sake and to move on.
Now they are still rare, but they're a hell of a lot less rare than if y'all chose Instacrit. So,
Fun.
Alright.
alrighty. All right, so we got that done. Let me write down what we decided.
Better.
What?
It is more
He
of a
said we're
challenge.
supposed to be a team. That's what I am. I'm making you better.
Get good. All right, so we
You're
chose.
encouraging us to roll better.
Yes. I believe in you. Both.
We need to get Wheaton on this show. Someone can roll.
I put under one of my bullet points, no player at all whatsoever, under no circumstance. And that was it. That was
Alright, bye.
okay. No players. Okay. All right. This is a good one because I don't want our stories to suck and be full of failures. So,
Wait, what?
it's a rule, kind of a joking one, but a dice that misbehaves too many times in one night. Their player has the obligation to immediately place said dice in dice jail for at least the rest of the night.
Okay, how does a dice misbehave?
If it keeps
If
rolling
it keeps
shit for you,
failing,
Oh, it rolls 3 critical fails
it's
in a
not a
row.
serious
that
rule.
was
It's
such a funny day. We actually have a little dice jail.
I
dice
did
prison.
see the picture of that, and I was very intrigued by it.
the dice jail. Yeah, that's dice jail.
Soak it in holy water, sage.
Read the
I
chat.
used to.
Huh?
I
Read
used
the
to-
chat.
I used to-
No players that are in.
Manipulate
You're all
dice.
fired. It's just me.
On the inside is like-
I mean, that's what I put. No player under any circumstance. That's it. Period.
Second
Be like,
page,
but-
and you just
How do you tell the dice?
It's like Michael Scott. Don't ever, for any reason,
Therefore, continue
do
to
anything to
If
anybody,
it's tired,
no matter where
or
you've
that place
been.
is thrown away.
Honestly,
Ever.
that's why if it fails me, I'll go to the next one. Or the next one.
You're using up all your good juju right now.
Yeah, careful.
Eights and tens.
That's the best you've ever rolled.
I just,
Hey, you're off to a good start for you.
It was
Oh.
a 5?
One
Alrighty.
was kicking ass though.
I know this might seem a little weird, but it's more for flow and it just makes for a better game in our experience. Ammo is infinite, so things like if you have a gun, you have infinite bullets.
Arrows.
If you have a bow, you have infinite arrows.
Unless they're like magical.
Yeah, unless the arrows are like special. Yes, those are not infinite. So, but if it's generic ammo, it's infinite. Like even javelins, we're just gonna kind of say you if you have javelins are throwable. I think
Okay, does that apply to daggers?
daggers are not. I'm talking about things that are like ammo, like that you rely on to throw. Daggers can be just held. So no, daggers are not infinite. Ammo is infinite, but this is the weird part. Roll, and then this is for you guys. This is going to change. So, role play items such as cigarettes and stuff must be bought and kept track of.
Oh, no.
So it used to be role play items like cigarettes. We just kind of said, okay, you have it. If characters smoked illegal substances, they just had it. Now you have to buy it. I want to keep that. I want to make that more of an aspect. If your character has something like cigarettes or something cool, pay for it. Or role play items. Role play items I want to
Or
pay
harvest
for it.
them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We'll head down to the key.
It's D&D. Be creative. You can get it. Let's see. This is kind of generic, but I'm going to say it anyway for the stream as well. Players are in charge of their own health and spell slots and other abilities during combat. Basically, you have D&D Beyond right in front of you when we're fighting. Just keep track of it. I'm not going to, I do check your sheets and all that. I kind of, as we go along to make sure we're staying on track. But, I'm trusting you guys just to keep it yourself. Keep each other in check, whatnot,
I got 400 health.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you took 50 health. How are you still up to full health? It's like, yeah. Okay. This I already kind of touched on this. Players must remain respectful during. I will go ahead and say it again, though. Players must remain respectful during a character death if it happens. God forbid. Characters like like I was kind of saying earlier, if your character actually wouldn't care about said death, they can act however they want. But you as players, odds are it's going to be emotional at the table, especially if it's the story we're going to build and these characters and relationships. We might get close to some of these. I know for a fact these two get really close to their characters. And it can be emotional. Just be respectful in those times. In that moment, it can be heavy. So just don't try and make a bunch of jokes if someone just died, if someone just lost their character they worked so hard on. Okay, now I learned my lesson from the last session, so I don't want my vets to be scared of me on this one. So I will say this though. There are instant death instances in the campaign, though. However, this is where I say I kind of learned my lesson. Rest assured, you will know them when you see them. It's things that are pretty obvious, like executions or instant death traps that will flatten you. Things that are obviously gonna kill you. No, you're not. It's not gonna roll to hit you to beat your AC. Like if you're getting your head chopped off execution style, like by a guard or something. They're not going to roll for damage to see if they get through your neck. It's an execution.
God, I hope they would just kill me.
Yeah, it's just
They knock me out
it's
one hit point at a time.
Yeah, some things just happen, and it'll be kind of obvious. But generally, yeah, you're going to be able to save yourselves, guys. But you'll know when it's an instant death thing.
Common sense.
Yeah, it's kind of common sense. I mean, my last last fight, it wasn't that much common sense, but whatever. Sorry.
We all learned this.
Yeah, I'll learn. But I'm stronger. Okay, let's say advantages and disadvantages do not stack. That question has come up every time I've played, and now I'm making it definitive. Advantages and disadvantages do not stack. You can either have advantage or disadvantage. It's as simple as that. Okay. We're about to do a mock fight. However, I would like to go over any other subjects or questions or things anybody else would like to add or anything really before we do our mock fight with our characters.
I'm good.
Any questions? Anything like that? Okay.
Excited.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have anything grid for this session?
Yeah,
I
it's
wasn't.
in front of your DM screen.
Is this ours? Can we use
No, it's
this?
mine, but you can.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Oh, yes. I see what you're saying.
Okay. Now the stream won't see this, but it's not necessarily. It has to happen. I'm gonna go use the restroom. No
Good
problem.
luck.
What?
Do you want me to say pee on your hands? Oh crap, I need minis, huh?
Yeah, I'll leave.
The minis are in the.
Oh, right.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there, I'll grab them.
I think someone was saying these are minis right here too.
Miniature.
Specifically,
Look at your cat.
Hey, quit being an asshole and peeing on their shit.
You're cool. Your minis are cool. Mine.
So there should be a small velvet bag in there that
Oh,
has
player.
character minis. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
This one?
Nope.
For some reason.
Maybe it's not in there.
Maybe it's in that
Nope.
phone.
I dropped something.
Oh, it's fine. It was just a haircut.
Small velvet bag.
Maybe not.
The only small velvet bag I see, you said was not it. That's okay. We brought our own minis, didn't we?
Oh, we'll use yours.
Yes.
All right, just pick a mini. Doesn't matter.
So plentiful.
This isn't even all of them. Oh god, this is just a mock fight. I don't need the specific one.
Jennifer Lee.
Jennifer, what?
Jennifer Lee.
What if we die in this fight?
You won't. It's literally this has nothing to do with the story. You will be using your real characters, but it's really just so we're all on the same page. How it's going to work, the flow of combat, what it's going to be like. This should be quick and short, just to make sure we understand. Oh wow, it's already 10. We are not going to have time to start our show tonight.
You don't know that. Do you want one? Can you use for the mock fight?
Oh, are we all choosing characters?
Yeah. Silver.
Okay.
Yeah, just pick a mini. We're just doing a mock fight.
Well, let's do this tiny, tiny, tiny one. So.
Do y'all want to do a mock? Do you feel you need a mock fight? By the way, like we can skip it if anyone's confused about how fights work. I know we.
I understand how combat works.
Yeah, so we can
I-
run through it.
Do you need it? I guess do you need it? You're the newest one.
The only thing that happens whenever it comes to fight is that I turn to him and I'm like, okay, what dice do I need now? It's like, okay, cool.
So it's-
otherwise it's like,
So you need
Yeah.
to get used to the idea of combat in general.
I mean, we've done quite a bit of combat.
Okay.
Honestly, the campaign that we're currently in, that's all he does is that. And that's also why we're
But
Almost added that.
you understand the order of combat, the
Yes,
actions,
yes.
reactions.
Yes.
With D&D Beyond, it's like super simple because it'll actually show you the damage and what dice to roll. So 1d8 plus
It is
2.
literally
That's cool.
stupid
Yeah.
proof, and I love it.
I love this, like my favorite.
That app is
thing.
amazing. It's a wonderful resource and
Hmm?
tool.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by D&D.
Not sponsored by.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, wouldn't that be the dream?
There's so many cool characters in this dream
Yeah,
that we
there is.
play
I don't
with the Critical Role.
There's
There's
a,
only one layer, and it's like, oh my god.
there's a store in Plano called Madness, and they have so many. That's where most of those are from.
We have to drag each other out of
So I'm sorry. I guess I didn't get it straight. Are we? Do we want to do this mock combat or no? Like
I'm fine to not to.
I'm not trying to suggest we skip. If we want to go through this, we can. I set aside time for this.
What's that boo thing?
If we don't do it,
Well,
can we start?
Are we-
Don't ask that.
I know,
I'm
I'm
fine
sorry.
either way.
If we get to it, we get to it.
I
We
know
might
it's
be
not
able to
combat.
start.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah, so we all understand how combat works.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to? My only biggest concern about the reason why I wanted this was just because combat is, while combat is fun, unfortunately, from a viewer's standpoint, streaming, we have to treat it like a show as well. I just want to make sure we at least understand it enough to where it'll flow. Are we confident enough to say that?
Or we can streamline.
Yeah, where we can kind of, and if not, are you comfortable kind of helping? You know, I guess I'm worried about newer players that just stream. I'm like, no offense, guys.
Not at all.
Okay.
And in fact,
In the past, like, I don't think that's going to be a concern just because, like, she always knows, like, she always thinks, like, okay, what can I do? And then when it's her turn, it's like, boom.
and if
Okay.
I know it's gonna be my turn, like I'll tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, this is what I want." Like I'll point out.
Yeah, and you guys can like whisper to each other when it's
Yeah.
not your turn. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so just like the heads up thing where it's just like, okay, hey, it's your turn, you're up next.
If you
It's-
want to do,
I do
mock
need to do
fight-
better about who's next. Yes, yeah.
If you want to do a mock fight, I'm cool with it. If not,
We can.
I don't care.
I'm
fine either way.
I'm okay with continuing on. The mock fight is really for new people because I just really want this to be a good, clean
Well,
stream.
thank you.
So, if y'all are comfortable, then I'm comfortable. I say we move on. That would, however, be. Would you guys want a mock session, or would you like to start our story, a little bit of our story tonight? Like the reason for the mock session would be to just kind of, I guess you can just learn as you go, though, how we play. But the mock session's purpose was for us to see how you play, how I ask for roles, how I interact with players. Basically, just kind of a demo. But if y'all want, we can just kind of jump right into the story.
You know what I'll vote.
I know you want to jump right into the story, but I want to make sure everybody is comfortable
absolutely.
and ready to play their character if we start tonight. If we start tonight, it's only going to be for an hour. We're at 10, and we are always going to end at 11.
Okay, it's up to me.
No, remember, this is session 0. If you do
Yeah.
not wish to start tonight, that is fine. It's
Personally, yes. Also, there is somewhere else where we were to go tonight.
okay.
So I didn't know if we were going to be staying till 11. I thought he had talked to you about that.
Oh, okay.
Apparently not. And he's not speaking up right now either. So I don't really know what's the plan. If you want to do a fight, I'm down for a mock fight versus the story. I'd rather not start the story tonight.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That's fine. We can start the story next week. Then let me make sure there is absolutely nothing left on my notes because that actually might be our session 0 in that case, I believe. Yes, mock session. Yeah. So. Okay. Well, it is 10 now, so then I guess all that's left to do is if there's any questions, anything you want to ask about the stream, any Q&A. Let's wind down our session 0 and let's call it. From moving forward, it will always be from 7 to 11, Saturday nights. I think we'll go ahead and just keep it as Saturday nights. Do we like Saturday nights just forever, for as long as this thing goes, this campaign goes?
Saturday nights work out.
Are y'all doing it every Saturday night, by the way?
Yes. However, we were going. I guess we can talk about this in session 0. We can talk about this. When it comes to stuff like holidays, or if there's like a time that we all agree, or if someone just wants off or doesn't want, if we want like a holiday off or something, that's fine. We don't have to stream all the time. Or if we all agree, hey, maybe let's take 1 week to not play, or something, maybe 1 week out of the month to not play.
Okay.
Or something, if we all want to do that. Whatever, I just want us all to have fun and have a good show here. So, ideally, yes, I was wanting to, just go ahead and do every Saturday.
Okay.
Just 7 to 11. But, how does everybody else feel the same?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
And we can stick to this, keep it going. Even if you can't show up, again, like we said earlier, just let me know, and I'll make it work. I'll make your character still be here. Just like, there's going to be times there's going to be times where, we have kids. There might be times when she can't come at all, like if we can't find a sitter or something. So it's fine. I can make it work. Anything else?
Well, did we want to do the mock session?
We can do the mock session if you wish. That's not the story at all.
Sure.
That is, actually it is. The mock session itself is, all it is you coming into Brushwind and doing very minor things. It's basically just to roll a few dice and to see how I interact with players and how I kind of describe things and how I do things a little bit. We'll kind of each of your characters will just get their own little 5-minute segment, just so we can roll some dice and y'all can kind of get a tiny feel of how we do things, sort of deal.
Cool.
So let's do our first. So let's kick this. So I guess we are kind of starting, but not really. Let's do a flat roll to see whose character we will go first with. Flat roll of a d20.
5. First roll of the campaign.
That one I roll high.
This whoever rolls highest.
Yeah, 12.
That's 17.
Ooh, 16.
11.
You get to go.
So you're going first.
Okay.
All right. Okay, excellent. Okay. So you tell us where you're tell me where you're coming from. As far as where would you be coming from? Is if you were entering the city of Brushwind, you would probably be coming from, I assume, the north. If you're coming from the black.
You can be wherever you want, honestly.
Okay.
The thing that has brought me here, I guess, would be the fact that I want to open a tavern, and I have a thing about alcohol. So I'm like learning how to do different brews and different things.
Okay. So let's start small. Okay. You enter the city of Brushwind in the middle of the day. It's a kind of a hot afternoon. It's the past few weeks have been a little chilly. So this is a nice change of pace. It's obvious the weather is changing into what's known as kind of like a spring in Merrell. And when you enter, it's a fine cloudless day, as you can hear light chatter through the streets. Some children playing in the alleys behind the giant clock tower as you come entering the city. You're immediately met with like the smell of what seems to be some meat cooking in the air, and your character immediately is drawn to what you know to be that must be the tavern just down the road. You can see what looks to be like a hanging sign, and it's not too busy in the middle of the day, as people are mostly going in and out of houses. In front of most businesses, you will see what looks to be kind of like a boardwalks that kind of connect these businesses and whatnot, and you can see a lot of business owners usually sitting on their front porches, socializing with each other. You can already tell just looking around. This is a small town. Not many people can step out of their shops and have conversations and not worry about people sneaking in. All shops here are small. You do see the tavern, though. Immediately, it's the first thing you see. What do you want to do from here when you enter the city of Brushwind?
Are there any friendly looking locals nearby?
There are some children playing in the between buildings, as I kind of said, running in and out, almost playing hide and seek. As far as locals, you do see people coming out of the clock tower with this very tall looking elf man who's wearing like this tie-dye-ish looking tunic. Sorry, I'm space my words there. And he seems to be surrounded by two other people who kind of are walking side by side with him. But like the people that were kind of walking behind him, it looked like they were kind of part of his group. They kind of branch off, and it looks like they might be heading home. Other than that, you do see a few people here and there in front of the businesses having little conversations outside, almost deciding where they're going to go in Brushwind. Few people here look like they're tourists, just like yourself, or people from outside of town, should I say. Few people, especially the people that broke away from that original group, kind of give you a glance, and you can immediately see kind of a... make a perception check, actually.
Around a D20?
Mm-hmm. And this will be for listening.
Maybe 7 foot.
Okay, well, I rolled a 16.
16. You roll 16 for perception?
Plus.
Oh.
Let's scroll down. And perception. Right there. So you have a +2.
So 18 altogether.
18 altogether. 18 is good enough to hear the group that kind of left the people that left the clock tower building with that guy wearing the tie-dye tunic, the tall elf dude. The two people that broke off, you kind of see them double take, and then one of them says something, like you see his lips move, and he says, pink, and you hear the word pink, but he's kind of like, it's about 20 feet away, so it's reasonable to say you wouldn't hear, but you heard the word pink.
Yeah.
As they obviously looked at you, and they didn't look like, they looked almost surprised. With your perception check, you can tell they looked almost surprised to see you for a split second there.
Can I divert myself into the shadows as I walk towards the tavern, or try to?
Yeah, it's pretty bright out, but they're like I said, they're where the kids are kind of playing. There's darker areas. You want to kind of duck into between some buildings as you make your way to the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of duck into an alley. Make a dexterity saving throw. Actually, with your perception check, that will carry over into the alley. You notice that you almost tripped over. You almost knocked right into this kid that was hiding behind this pile of garbage that was in an alleyway between these two businesses. And like he's like, "Hey, go find your own hiding spot. What even are you? Go away. They're gonna find me."
I'm a cobalt. Haven't you seen one before?
Go what? Just go. He's gonna find me. You can, and now that he said that, you can hear 3, 4, 5, just on the other side of the building.
Shoot! And I just start running.
Like down the
gunning
alley.
it. Like I think someone's chasing me. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. We will stop there. That's good. Good opening. Good opening. So that was a mock session. So next highest roll, we're gonna see that. We'll do the next segment. Go ahead.
I think that's Alex.
No. Re-roll. We're just gonna keep rolling.
Oh.
So that was a few.
16.
That was a few basic little rolls, kind of to show you.
17.
17.
Well,
Did you get it? Oh.
What'd you get?
That I'll crit.
You critically passed.
Yeah.
You got a 20. That means you were next.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Nice.
Okay, Juniper. This is your town. Where is your story beginning?
I have just slammed the door of my home with a bag full of random crap and a loot on my back. Fuming about something family related.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, good. Oh! Okay. I think I have a very... Let's see.
intelligence, that'll be 18.
18. You've done this before with this bag. You know to there is a loose strap on this bag that you're carrying. You know you've done this a few times before where the strap of the bag gets caught in the door and then it tugs at you. So you know to check this time.
Okay.
So you check?
She'll check, yeah.
It's caught in the door. So you would, you will have to open the door again to get it out.
So she kind of is about to step forward, and she'll just be like, "Fuck." So she's actually gonna go, and she's gonna like take the bag and just kind of like brace her leg up against the wall and just yank it as hard as she can.
Make a strength check.
Okay. Fuck! 5.
5. Okay. God. Really? Okay, now you gotta make a strength saving throw.
Fuck. Okay. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So you pull you pull. You're trying to pull the strap out. Like you put your foot on the door. You said kind of trying to pull it out. Well, you weren't able to quite hold on to it. Like you pull, and it's almost like the moment you put your foot on the door, your grip isn't quite able to kind of hold quite tightly enough. So you immediately fall backwards, tumbling backwards, and you see that your house is kind of sitting on that hill that kind of overlooks the village, and you tumble off the hill, and then you immediately grab on, kind of slamming your body into the side of this hill. So we'll leave you there, hanging on the side of the hill. That's where your quest starts.
Quite literally being left
Your
on
story
the
starts hanging on the side of a hill with your backpack still stuck in the door. Your backpack, you didn't get your backpack. It's still stuck in the door about there. So you have to climb up the hill and go get your backpack. But we're going to take the next highest roll.
12.
It's a 19.
Woo!
Huh?
I got a 2.
19. Okay, so, let's see. You enter Brushwind. Let's see. So you're actually entering Brushwind from kind of an awkward area. You can see that if you're kind of coming up from behind a building, you can see, I can make it in town if I just kind of cut through this alley. It's probably faster if I cut through this alley, or you can go the less weird way and go more towards the clock tower to go towards the general square and then make your way into the town. However, you can see the businesses are just right there if I just cut through this alley right here up ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll cut that.
You cut through the alley. Go make a perception check for me as you make your way through to the alley.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you make your way, you can hear as you get closer to the village of Brushwind. You just made it out of. You just came from the Elven Woods, by the way, to the east. You didn't really make any interaction. You kind of just passed through there. But anyway, it's nice to see this civilization. You can kind of see from here. There's some humans. There's some half-elves walking around. Some elves. You thought you saw some halflings, but then you immediately know you see some children. As you get closer to this building, you can hear 4, 5, and it was a dirty 20 perception check. You kind of turn to go into this alley, and you see this like pink blur run at your feet, and then disappear behind another building. Like it was just fast enough to where you saw something pink, but you were too busy looking kind of up at the kids and the architecture and the people of the city that you just saw something pink run out of the alley and disappear around the corner of the building. And you can kind of, with a dirty 20, you can see as you continue looking down, you can see this kid hiding like behind some trash. Looks like he's playing like hide and seek or something. Like he's hiding behind, like because you can see him peeking out. It looks like he was looking the way the pink blur was running. Like he might have saw it too. What do you do from here?
I'm gonna rub my eyes. look back one more time and continue walking.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at that kid. Like I'm gonna go towards that kid.
Okay, as you walk towards the kid, make a charisma check.
I crit failed.
Critically failed. So, wait, so you immediately are for a moment you are self-aware as okay, yeah. It's a critical fail.
Yes, it's a 1.
Now this is a perfect example where we have this. So what that means is he is at my imagination's mercy. So you realize the clothing you're wearing walking down a dark alley with a child alone doesn't look too well. As the child, as I said, he kind of looked down the alley where the pink blur was, and then you see him look up at you and just scream, "Ah!" and runs in the street. Monster! And that's where we'll end your part. Now you two make a platform.
I like that.
So it looks bad, especially with how you're dressed.
I got it.
Dang.
8 and 6.
Yeah.
You are going dead last.
Yeah.
All right, Haven. You'll be coming from the east as well, from the Elven Woods, I believe.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. You actually came from more of an angle. You actually are coming from almost behind the clock tower. I don't know if you remember what the Brushwood map looks like. You were actually coming from kind of behind, kind of from north-ish. Like you kind of took a weird route. But you can kind of from this way, if it's north, you can kind of smell the smells of like what smells like meat in the air as you get a little bit closer. And you can see, even from here, I mean, you're kind of making your way down the hill a little bit because it's almost like the town is here and you're about like right here, kind of making your way down into the town. You can see from here children playing, people walking. I mean, from here you can see this long boardwalk that stretches in front of all these businesses. You can see people hanging out on porches. It looks like a very calm town. From here, instantly, there's really... Go ahead and do a perception check. Let's go and give you the same one I gave Austin. Or Felix, sorry.
Okay. That's going to be a loading screen. 1 second. Keep that on my staff. Oh, never mind. Perception, that's going to be a 17.
17, yeah, that's enough to kind of realize that, because you're kind of coming from behind the clock tower, just leaving the eclipse of the clock tower, you see this tall elf accompanied by some people who break off and head kind of towards the line of businesses off to the right, where there seems to be some children playing some sort of game where they're chasing each other. You see one kind of, you said 17? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see one of the kids obviously like counting near the fence where the clock tower is connected to. That's all you see from here. Yeah. What do you want to do?
I am going to lift up my wrist, and I have a bracelet that's made of like hollowed branches and woven vines.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just pet my bracelet and let's see if we can find a place to stay. And I'm going to make my way into town.
Okay.
Try to find something that looks like an inn.
Time. I will carry the perception check of the 17 because it's still about the same area.
Okay.
To let you know immediately, kind of as you clear. Are you just kind of walking at this point? Mm-hmm. Okay. You kind of. It doesn't take you but not even a minute to kind of make your way to the bottom of the hill and around the corner of this what looks to be giant clock tower. It's something about technology, by the way, for all of you. It's still a little new. This is new technology. This is kind of impressive that this town is even able to afford something like this.
Yeah.
So the industrial age in our world is still very new. Technology is just now starting to boom a little bit. Anyway, so you do notice the clock tower, and immediately as you're looking up at the clock tower, you can hear kind of the counting a little bit, but you're not even paying attention to the counting because you immediately, as you look down at the tavern, you immediately hear, "Monster! Monster! From somewhere to your left. But do you want to go investigate the sound, or do you want to go to the obvious inn, which is about 50 feet away?
I am going to go investigate the sound.
Okay, we'll stop there with you. We're going to go to you now, Taylor. Okay. Let's. All right. This is your town. Where do you want to be when you start this?
Probably slinging corn with one of my sisters.
Okay.
At the stall that we set up.
Okay, one of your sisters. Yep.
Probably Rose, the second oldest sister.
Okay. Okay. She. So you're right now. You're slinging corn, which is like your.
Well, we're both at the stall.
At the.
Having to sell it, and I immediately.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're selling it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
For some reason, I thought.
Slinging it. Yeah. No, we're trying to sell our crop.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I immediately want to get out of there.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead and make. Do you care that she? Does she know? Would your sister know that you don't want to be here?
Yeah.
Okay. Or do you make it obvious? Like, do you slouch?
No. I sneak out of there as inconspicuous as possible.
Oh.
Whenever I find a moment, I'm just like, I'm out of here.
Okay. So it's obvious you don't want to be there. Your sister's probably the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever she's like handling a customer or something, whenever she's like wrapping it up or something, I'm getting out of there.
Okay. You guys are probably. You guys are probably on. I would imagine if you're slinging the corn, you're somewhere on the main strip of the street. I will start your story at you hearing monster down like a block. Accompanied, your sister kind of looks, and then when she looks that way, she catches you and she says, well, "Don't look too excited to be here."
No, not really.
It would go faster if you gave a damn.
Is she like egging me on to leave?
She actually wants to leave too. I think y'all have been. By this point, you guys have been here for a few hours and haven't sold much corn today. Anyway, it's not. It's normal, but it's some days are better than others, and this is obviously not one of the better days. But she she speaks up. Do you think it'd be better if we just? I don't know. I go home and you just stay here and continue to sell.
Yes. It would be so much better. I will handle all the duties. Don't worry. Don't tell Dad that you left early, because he might be a little worried about that.
Are you trying to intimidate her?
No, I'm trying to convince her to say I'll handle this.
Oh, okay. Well, but was that? Oh, I won't tell Dad you left early. Was that kind of like a threat if you leave?
No.
If you leave me here, or
it
was
was
it
more like
me
trying to convince her? It's like, listen, you deserve this.
Okay.
You deserve a little break, bro.
Okay. She looks at you. She's like, I was kidding, but I will take it.
Excellent. Don't worry about me. I'll handle all the business from here on.
Okay. So she walks away. She kind of looks at you a little bit because she knows how much you hate the chores.
Smile and leave.
And and she leaves. She leaves. Very reluctant. She picks up a few of her the things that she brought here today, and she's like, "Oh, good. I'm so tired. Just pack up when you're done."
Smile.
As she kind of heads back home.
As soon as she's out of eyesight, I put everything underneath the stall and I go and investigate with sound.
Okay. Okay, you will not have a roll. I don't see a roll there, but that will be our openings for everybody. However, what I forgot to tell you all to do is describe your character. I guess.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that'll be the last thing we do before we wrap up. I know. Yeah. So that I guess it's important for our viewers. We will do this. We will describe our characters again at session 1 next week. But go ahead and describe your characters for anyone that might be watching, and just for each other. We will start with Austin. We'll go around the table this way.
Okay. My character is a half-orc bard, of course, and about 25. He plays the mandolin.
Like, what do they see? Like, maybe more visual, like, if you can. Like, maybe describe, like, how he walks. Just little things. Like, what do people... What does the general eye see when they look at your character?
He walks with a slouch, kind of just... Almost bored, like. Nothing's, like, interesting. Black... Kind of wearing a black cloak, black hat.
Yeah.
kind of looks a little like scummy, like he's
Yep.
not of this era kind of thing,
Like a monster.
maybe. But yeah, he almost like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you saw someone from like the 70s, right? You're like, what are they wearing, kind of thing. It's kind of like he's out of the timeline.
Like he's a
not-
sketchy dude who's like he doesn't dress right.
I get with it times.
Yeah,
It's like that weird section of Goodwill where you're like, oh my gosh, disco pants. I love it.
but not flashy more.
Okay. Would you? And he has green skin. Is the picture?
Yeah.
I assume the picture's pretty accurate. So,
Yeah.
but he's a half orc, but he takes on more orcish.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So good. Anything else before we move on to Summer? Okay. If you think of anything, you can just interject. Just interrupt Summer. No, I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead, Summer.
Oh, okay. I am human. I have tan, like sun-kissed skin, very unlike what I naturally have. I have gold eyes, long auburn red hair. I have stick and poke, like druidic, tribal-esque tattoos on my arms and my fingers and some on my face. She's like 5'1". She's wearing like dark brown leather pants with like the knee-high leather boots, with a green sleeveless leather vest that kind of like a pale green, and it kind of comes up to her collarbone, and she wears a darker green like cloak. She has, like I said earlier, a bracelet with woven branches and vines, and she has like this tannish khaki, long tattered as fuck skirt, and she has one part of it tucked into one of her pockets. Her clothes very dirty. She has dirt under her fingernails and on her fingers, and probably some in her face. She has twigs and branches and some leaves and flowers just all up in her hair, and her hair is usually pulled into like a side pony, like a low side pony, for like some attitude. I think that's it.
Love it. Good.
I think that's generally it. Oh, and her clothes all definitely look stitched together, handmade. Pick up scrap, put it on there, Lots of mending has been done to these clothes.
Awesome, Summer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Tiny?
So
I really
I'm
want to hear about you.
playing a tiny pink cobalt. I'm going to say up to whatever you allow, 2 to 3 feet, as small as I can.
So you want the smallest race, the smallest kobold can get. You want that to be it?
Yes.
I'll circle back around with you. I think it's like 2.5 feet. I can't remember.
Okay.
Oh well, I'll check and I'll circle back around with you.
I don't have any hair. I have 2 little white horns. I have yellow to gold-ish eyes as well. I wear very minimal armor. Most of my armor is focused on my wrists, where it's not just leather, it's plated on the wrists. But I do have like a minimal leather armor on. And my character is a female. She uses a bow, as well as she has 2 little daggers stashed somewhere in her armor.
So they wouldn't they would see that, or
No, you wouldn't see that.
if you don't see it, you don't have to say it.
Okay.
Let it be your let it be your little secrets.
She doesn't wear any shoes or anything like that. She probably is dirty as well, but as a reptile, you don't really hold on to dirt. But
True. Yeah.
I'm probably a darker shade. Than
Like a darker pink than like the light. Okay.
I might look almost I might almost blend in with the ground at this point.
I love it.
Okay, okay.
I love
I
it.
will.
Shades of pink come through.
That's a good point. I'll take note of that. Is
Covered up in mud.
but is it still reasonable to say that he saw maybe pink when?
Yeah, oh,
Okay,
for
because
sure,
I can
for
fix
sure.
that. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, cool.
Like my tail and my
Yeah.
butt and my back legs are definitely like.
Yeah, like,
I'm
okay, if
going
you look
brown,
at it, okay,
you know
there's
what I mean?
okay, that's great. It's pink, but it's just dirty.
But my
Yeah.
head is definitely pink, and my head's probably the only thing that's clean with my little horn.
Okay, okay. All right. Do you usually are you usually on all fours? I know some kobolds will usually prefer to run on all fours and whatnot.
I'll do both. Part of it is that a lot of my life was spent in a small area where I couldn't move a lot. So I walk both ways. I stand up normally, but if I'm running away, I'm gonna get on all fours.
Yeah.
Simple.
Because I was revisiting that crouching thing we talked about earlier. I'm like, that might not actually be a thing for you because you actually can move like that way just fine.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anything else?
My character's age is around 19.
19?
Oh, I forgot to say how old I was. About the same.
Yeah. You said 25, I believe. Yeah. So,
I think that covers it.
okay.
Unless I missed something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, so Bim is a really young halfling, about the average age, average height for a normal halfling. He has like really bushy brown hair, a lot like mine, except it like stands up on his head a lot more. He's got like big, innocent eyes. He looks like someone who should not be going adventuring. He definitely looks like he's just like someone who's like, oh yeah, I heard all these storybooks and I really want to go do this.
Straight edge looking.
Yeah, wide-eyed, green-eyed, small head, real friendly smile and all that. He's wearing, he just recently acquired his mother's old hand-me-downs, which are old patchwork leather armor, nice little hand crossbow, a short sword and some daggers and stuff. And he, currently in the campaign, he'll walk around with so much pride wearing this stuff.
Aww.
He just is like so happy to be wearing this sort of situation he's got right now, and he has this newfound confidence in himself. He just walks with like determination and such, but he also just seems like he doesn't really know what the world has to offer for him. He's very innocent when it comes to his whole confidence. His confidence is there, but it's still kind of like, let's see what you got, kid.
All right. I love it. Okay. And finally, we have Juniper. Alex?
Juniper is an 18-year-old half-elf. She's got that ginger hair thing going for her. It's a little bit wild, not like Merida wild, but like it's kind of tangled often. She currently she's rather mismatched. Very similar to her profile picture. It's she is wearing that kind of the vest. She's got like this. She's got two boots that don't match. One kind of is that like
I love her.
that calf length boot, and one is the ankle length boot.
I love her.
She's got like two socks that don't match. She's wearing this giant floppy hat. And she does have a bunch of scars, but they look like they look very fell and scraped your knee, hit a door, maybe burned yourself on a stove.
Accident prone.
I like this.
Scars, yeah. No tattoos. But yeah, she is very much she's kind of lazy, and anyone who knows her knows that she does enjoy complaining, but she also enjoys having a good time. So.
Okay.
What color are her eyes?
Oh yeah, she has like these hazel green eyes.
What color are your
Oh,
eyes?
she's dreamy.
Okay.
Okay. I think that will be our session
Fraser, what
0
does your
then.
character look like?
Me. I play all characters. Okay, that was an excellent session 0. I guess all that's left to be done is this week. Just make sure your backstory is nice and polished and ready to go. Because next week will be our session 1. We will be starting our story. Everything we do from here on out counts. Okay?
Oh, what's everyone's character pronouns? So, she, her, he, him, she, her.
Typically, yes.
He, him? Okay, she, her. Perfect.
So, yeah. Okay, that is all I have for session 0. Does anyone else have anything for session 0 before we end this stream? And I must say that was a very successful session 0.
How much is the corn?
You have to inquire.
Dang, I really We'll find out next week. That's the burning question.
We will be back next week, Saturdays. We will tune in every Saturdays here on Twitch. We will also be... We're still working out the kinks, but I believe we will be posting our any videos, including this one, on our YouTube channel. I don't believe that's created yet. We're still working on everything at the moment, but watch our pages for updates, and we're looking forward to a great stream. Dice Goblins Go! Was that good? We should do a thing, like a...
Dice Goblins
Go, like something less corny than that. We should do like Dice Goblins Unite or something nerdy, something extra.
It's a work in progress.
Okay, you know what? Austin is the only one who supports me.
That was such a
Okay, something less cringy. I hate you all. All of you lose 50 experience.
We have no experience.
We're all level 0. Make new characters.
Make new characters.
All your characters are dead.
And suddenly
Start
a
over.
meteor comes to Brushwind.
Okay,
Ancient Dragon level 1.
tune in next week. Good Dice Goblins Go. End stream.